Welcome to the Brian Craig Show. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. And I want to talk about this great Spencer Pratt MAGA Republican victory that we had in Los Angeles last night. You know, in Los Angeles, they had their mayor's debate. Spencer Pratt versus this incompetent lunatic, Karen Bass, who empties the fire hydrants of water access before major fires, and then this ramen. And I'm going to go through some of the clips of the LA mayor's race, and the rise and success of Spencer Pratt is 100% because of Donald Trump. And we're going to talk about this, and what's happening in this country is just massive change. And I'll give you, this is a poll that was done by the local NBC affiliate in Los Angeles after the debate, Channel 4, NBC 4, Los Angeles. Which candidate won the debate for mayor? Karen Bass, 8%. Ramen, 5%. And Spencer Pratt, 87%. And, you know, what President Trump has done, we saw this in Indiana, we were talking about yesterday. You see it with this redistricting that's going on around America and everything that's happening. What President Trump has done is nothing short of spectacular. And, he's changed everything. He's changed everything. You know, the American people, even behind the blue wall that the Democrats are always talking about, in this instance, in Los Angeles, California. And then, of course, yesterday I was also talking about the governor's debate in California, where Steve Hilton, according to all observers, all watchers, won that debate too. So how are Republicans, because Spencer Pratt's a Republican, how are Republicans winning these debates behind the blue wall of liberal California? Well, people, what President Trump has done is beyond red pilling. Red pilling's happening. That's a good thing. But another thing that President Trump has done is he's woken up people, not just that, the MAGA way's the way and all of that, the Republican Party's the way, but to the utter incompetence and, criminal activity of the Democrat Party. And wherever Democrats rule in this country is a pit. High crime, social services aren't working. People are fed up that they put foreign illegals. They put illegals above American citizens or legal immigrants. In fact, the Democrat Party hates American citizens and legal immigrants. They feel that they've been rejected by the American people, so they no longer have any use for the American people. And then you see people like Steve Hilton running for governor in California, a Republican, and you see Spencer Pratt, who is the way that mayors used to be, right? I mean, he's the perfect candidate for mayor of Los Angeles because he's been wronged by Los Angeles. He's been wronged by the government. In Los Angeles, they had those fires, which are just god-awful. I mean, it's just terrible. And you have these DEI hires that say, vote for me because of how many check marks you can make on the DEI hire. And then these people are running cities or fire departments or another agency, and they don't know what they're doing. They're completely incompetent. And their incompetence leads to people like Spencer Pratt and many others losing everything. And there's one thing that the Democrats are competent at. And this is another thing that President Trump has woken everybody up to. Democrats are competent at stealing money from the federal government, right? They got this Medicaid fraud going on from sea to shining sea, from the Somali pirates of Minneapolis to the fake hospices in L.A. and all kinds of other things going on everywhere else, okay? And that's the only thing they're competent at. And the Democrat Party, they no longer care about any particular issue. In fact, they don't even have a platform. The late, great Rush Limbaugh said, pretty much every day on his show, all Democrats care about is power. So they do whatever it is they have to do to stay in power. And the reason they want to be in power is not to push some left-wing agenda. They don't have an agenda. The Democrats want to be in power for one reason and one reason only. You know what that is? To steal money from the government and enrich themselves. The Democrat Party, and the American people have woken up to this, even in California. The American people have woken up that there's no Democrat Party platform. They only stand for thievery. That's it. The Democrat Party is without question a national, well, they've gone international with some of the things they do, but they are the largest organized criminal financial operation in the history of the world, the Democrat Party. Maybe they've always been that way. I don't know, but they're that way now, and people are fed up. People are fed up. And when you look at this poll here is an amazing poll with the LA mayor's debate last night. 87% say Spencer Pratt won. And when I show you some of the clips in a few minutes, you'll agree. But the reason I share this poll, and there'll be other polls out there, this is a poll of likely LA voters who were watching the debate and are, of course, local in LA. And, you know, I turn on Fox. Oh, will LA elect their next Mom Donnie? You know, all they care about are some clickbait titles. Will they LA elect a new Mom Donnie? Rahman got 5% in the poll last night. Overall, there's a new poll in Newsweek. There's an article I'm going to go through. Rahman is polling at like 9% in the latest poll. And all Fox wants to do is, Mom Donnie, that'll get clicks and views, a new Mom Donnie. Start doing the news, Fox News. You know, she's not even a credible candidate. And Rahman and Karen Bass, I'm getting hungry. I keep saying ramen. I'm thinking of the ramen noodles. I love ramen noodles, don't you? Yeah, absolutely. But Karen Bass and Rahman got their clocks cleaned by Spencer Pratt. And Spencer Pratt is using campaign commercials and viral social media in ways that no one has ever done before. You know, these commercials that he's been putting up, these AI-generated commercials and others that have been going viral on social media are going uber viral in California, in particular, Los Angeles. Now, the only question is, you know, what is the turnout going to be like in these primary? Keep in mind, this is a primary, and the way things are looking, there's no way that Spencer Pratt doesn't go off into the runoff, right? There's going to be a runoff. It'll probably be Spencer Pratt against Karen Bass. Who knows if it's with Rahman? I don't know, but Spencer Pratt is definitely going to make it into the runoff. We're about 90 seconds away from the radio show beginning, and when the radio show starts, I'm going to play some of the clips of the debate last night with Spencer Pratt. And, you know, even if we don't win in the end in Los Angeles, we're moving California to become a battleground state. Conservatism is really almost a new concept in California, and it's coming back. And even if we don't win the governor's race, even if we don't win in the Los Angeles mayor's race, we're moving towards more common sense in California, and we will get Republican victories in the future if we don't get it now. But what's the turnout going to be? You know, the turnout in particular in Southern California is going to be much different because there's this ICE fear, right? There's this ICE fear that a lot of people have. So a lot of illegals will not be showing up to vote. All right, we have 30 seconds until the radio show starts. So I'm going to open up on the radio show, do a quick recap, and then I'll start playing some of the audio sound bites. But your calls are welcome. The number's pinned in the live chat, and it's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. What an exciting day. All right, stand by. We've got 5 seconds. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Oh, man. I want to start talking about something. I don't think I've covered it all on the program, and this is the Spencer Pratt for mayor's race in Los Angeles. Last night, there was the debate with Spencer Pratt versus this incompetent lunatic, Karen Bass, and this member of the Democratic Socialist. I'm not even sure how to pronounce her first name, Nithya. I don't know. Her last name is Rahman. Three-way debate. Karen Bass, Rahman, and Spencer Pratt. Not only did Spencer Pratt clean their clocks and expose them for what they are, there's a poll out that was put out by the local NBC affiliate in Los Angeles. NBC4 in Los Angeles did a poll. Now, this is a poll of Los Angeles voters who watched the debate. And here's the question. Which candidate won the debate for mayor? Karen Bass, 8% said she won. Rahman, 5% said she won. Spencer Pratt, 87% in the NBC 4 LA poll after last night's debate. 87% say Spencer Pratt, our MAGA Republican, won the debate. And I turn on Fox News, and they give us the headline, "Will LA elect the next Mamdani?" And I'm like, what are you talking about? Did you guys even do any research? Or are you just trying to get Mamdani out there to oh, Mamdani, click, click, click. The Rahman is who they're calling the Mamdani. She's a Democratic Socialist. In the latest poll, she only has 9%. And, whether or not we win the governor's race in California, whether or not we win the mayor's race in LA, it's really an unknown. The way that these elections, which are very important elections in California, go are unknown because we don't know how the fear of ICE at polling locations is going to affect Democrat turnout in California. But I'm here to tell you this, that Steve Hilton leading in the governor's race in California and Spencer Pratt leading in the mayor's race in Los Angeles, this is all because of President Trump. They are both MAGA. They both have MAGA agendas. And Spencer Pratt has this really controversial idea that fire hydrants should have water access so they can put out fires. Imagine that. What a radical lunatic he is. And I'm going to play some of the clips from this debate, but even if we don't win the LA mayor's race or the California governor, and I'm not saying that we're not going to win, it's just because of the way things have changed in the country, it's impossible for anyone to predict how the LA mayor's race or the governor's race in California will turn out. But I'll tell you this, even if we don't win either of those races, California is moving towards becoming a battleground state. And within the next couple of election cycles, California will become a toss-up state and is on the move to become a Republican state again. Remember, we have two of the greatest Republican presidents came from California, Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon. Both for, so we have a long history of great Republicans out of the state of California. And like I said, the fear of ICE, what kind of impact will that have on the Democrat turnout? Hopefully it'll have a major impact on it. And when I share with you these clips from the debate, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Listen to this one. This was a simple question. The moderator, it's Spencer Pratt, Rahman, and Karen Bass. The moderator of the debate, which was an NBC Channel 4 debate in Los Angeles, asked a simple question. Should illegals be able to vote? Should illegals be able to vote? Listen.
This is a yes or no question and answer. So there's an LA council member. He wants voters to decide. He is saying that non-citizens, should they be allowed to vote in local elections? Is this a yes or no, Mr. Pratt?
No.
Mayor Bass?
It depends. It's not a yes or no.
Depends on what?
Well, first of all, when you say non-citizens, it doesn't mean they're here illegal. It doesn't mean they're undocumented. They could have green cards. They could be here perfectly legal. And there's a lot of states and cities that do that on very, very local elections. We have to see what the councilman is proposing.
Councilmember Bremen.
Yeah, I would say, again, it does depend. In other places, school boards have non-citizens,
Yes or no?
non-citizens who vote
Mr. Pratt, I have a question for
who are
you. You
residents who
told
vote for
NBC
these.
News.
Yeah, I mean, you hear this? So you got, and by the way, Rahman and Bass are splitting the liberal lunatic vote. So that works in Spencer Pratt's future as becoming the next mayor of Los Angeles. Non-citizens cannot vote. It's against the law, Karen Bass. Ramen Noodle, whatever her name is. I can't pronounce her first name. Doesn't matter. They call her the next Mamdani on Fox. I mean, that's, so you see the weight for that question even to be asked by a liberal local LA news affiliate tells you so much, doesn't it? Oh, man, this is really amazing what's happening. And it's all happening because of our favorite president, Donald Trump. Okay, let me pull this up. Here's, this is not during the debate, but this is NBC. This was before the debate, and they're talking to Spencer Pratt before the debate.
People were wondering, should the candidates next of you have apologized to you that you did lose your home?
Although this was, okay, I guess this was after the debate. I thought it was, yeah, okay. Okay, let's go.
People were wondering, should the candidates next of you have apologized to you that you did lose your home, that you basically lost everything in the Palisades fire? We start there because this is what brought you to this campaign, Spencer.
I didn't come here looking for apologies. I've not gotten one from anybody in the city for, 16 months, so it's not surprising. I didn't think they would. If they apologize, it admits their failures. And I'm up here because of their failures. That's the only reason I'm running, because I said enough of these failures. We need an outsider. No more politicians, no more lying. We need the truth. People are done with the lies.
Yeah, and incompetence and thievery. Spencer Pratt, he's so much like President Trump. And what I mean by that is simply this. President Trump came down the escalator. Why? Because this country was moving towards socialism, and they were bringing millions of illegals in here that were doing all kinds of things. I don't need to go through, There was a problem. President Trump was sick of the problem, and he said, I'm going to fix it, and he came down the escalator, and sure enough, he's done that and more. Spencer Pratt's the same thing. His house burned down because Karen Bass and her checkmarked DEI hire fire chief came up with this brilliant idea that fire hydrants shouldn't have water access. And a town burnt down, and they still haven't rebuilt it. And by the way, the city is filled with homeless who are hooked on drugs and everything else around school. It's just a disaster. And he said, we can't live this way anymore. I want to fix it. What Rahman and Bass are saying, vote for me, and then you can mark off some boxes on a form and feel like a social justice warrior. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I mean, this is great stuff. I mean, see how President Trump is changing the world? This is swamp draining times infinity in California right now. If you're on hold, stand by. My name's Brian, Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Friendly Tire in Margate. Oh, man, Friendly Tire in Margate really is literally a lifesaver because, here we are. It's the rainy season, and tires, especially, the prices of things have gone up so much. And a lot of businesses, they use this as an excuse to raise prices. Not Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire has not raised their prices. You can get new tires out the door and on the road as low as $75 a tire. Those are brand new tires, as low as $75 a tire. And I want to remind you, these are not Fiat tires, the size of golf cart tires. These are uncommon sizes that fit some of the most commonly driven cars on the road today. And when I say out the door and on the road, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tires, okay? So it's as low as $75 a tire out the door and on the road for brand new tires. He has thousands of good used tires in stock, as low as $35 a tire, and that's the out-the-door, on-the-road price as well. He also does tire repairs. Call Friendly Mike right now. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. We have listeners that drive more than an hour each way because the prices are so great at Friendly Tire, and he's a longtime supporter of this program, so support him. Call him up. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. He can get tires for any type of vehicle. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. We'll be right back. All right, we're clear. Now, guys, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to play some more clips from this when we get back. And if you'd like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat.
Hi, Tom Laporta here. We are Laporta Roofing, a family business since 1983. You are our customer. In other words, our boss. We are here for and because of you, not the other way around. The 2026 rainy season is upon us. Because we haven't had a hurricane in 2 years, all the storm chaser roofing companies have gone out of business, leaving only the strongest and the best contractors. At Laporta Roofing, we will never sell you a roof you don't need. We don't have salesmen or commissions, so we will never pressure you to sign a contract. Also, deposits are not required. At Laporta Roofing, you will always come first. We must earn your trust, and we will. So call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, or on the web at laportaroofing.com.
You know that first cup of coffee in the morning? It kind of sets the tone for everything that comes after, doesn't it? So why settle for coffee that's been sitting on a shelf for weeks, maybe even months? That's where James and June Coffee comes in. They're a family-founded brand named after their children, Beckham James and Rosie June, and everything they do is built around one simple idea: better mornings at home. James and June Coffee is fresh roasted, small batch coffee, not mass-produced. It's not overcomplicated either, just really good coffee that's smooth, easy to drink, and made for your everyday routine. There's no fancy jargon, no coffee snob vibe, just a simple upgrade to something you already do every day. Because when your coffee's better, your morning just feels better too. If you're someone who enjoys that quiet moment at home, that first sip before the day gets going, James and June Coffee is for you. Order yours right now online at jamesandjunecoffee.com and try it for yourself. That's jamesandjunecoffee.com. Share the link on all your socials so your friends can order their coffee too. jamesandjunecoffee.com. Made for real mornings. This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for now, man. It's everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man, and Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
Okay, we got about 15 seconds until we're back. If you're on hold, stand by. And we're just talking about how Trump's just changed the whole country. Stand by. The number's pinned in the live chat. It's toll free if you'd like to call in. 5 seconds. All right, we're back, and we're talking about how really President Trump has changed politics everywhere in this country. Night before the last, we had the governor's debate in California. Trump endorsed Steve Hilton, clearly won, and is the front runner in all the polls in that race. MAGA Republican Spencer Pratt, according to the liberal NBC affiliate hosting the mayoral debate last night, 87% of, what do they call them, Los Angelinos who watched the debate, 87% say Spencer Pratt won. This is a big wake-up call. You know, the liberals like to say they're woke. We're the ones that are awake, and more people are awake each and every day to see the reality of the death and destruction and corruption of the Democrat Party. All right, let's go to the phones. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Stalker 9 California.
All right, what's up, California?
So excited to be talking to you about this. That was a outstanding debate. What was so funny is that I think it was NBC, whoever ended up, it was NBC because the anchor is known for being a NBC anchor.
Yep.
They showed the QR code to get the percentages that you were mentioning for like a millisecond. Like it was just a quick second where you could actually go. And,
yeah, I mean, it was an NBC Telemundo local moderated debate, and when 80% of those viewers say that Spencer Pratt won, that's looking good for Los Angeles.
It's looking outstanding because it's funny. Everybody he knows is a Democrat, and they're all going to vote for him.
Wow.
And then you're going to further, because I mean, he's grown up in.
Well, it's not just that he's grown up. See, he's the kind, when it comes to local politicians, Spencer Pratt is the kind of person who used to become a politician. There's a problem in their town, so they run for city council or run for mayor to fix it. And he has this crazy idea that fire hydrants should have water. And
he has a lot of crazy ideas. He has a lot of crazy ideas like transparency, opening up the books for all the NGOs, definitely investigating the fire situation. I mean, he has a lot of crazy ideas, but like I was saying, the Democrats are going to end up splitting between each other, and then he's going to end up taking away Democrat votes because everyone that he knows, and he knows a lot of people, are going to be voting for him, and they are Democrats.
And the fear of ICE, what impact will that have on Democrat turnout, the fear of ICE at polling locations?
The only thing I have to say about that is that I just hope that there's some really close monitoring and then a audit of who votes to ensure that there's no.
Well, don't get crazy.
Illegal.
This is L.A. This is L.A. we're talking about.
Well, I mean, they're going to be monitoring it. To be honest, I really don't. The same people that you would think that the Democrats would never vote for him are going to be voting for him. That issue is not even. It's second. It's something in the back of their minds. We have so many problems besides that it's.
Well, let me tell you, just to get it back to the debate last night. You know, I saw the highlights that I'm sharing with you, and I was like, wow, he did great, and I thought I might play one or two, and then I saw that NBC poll that said that 87% say that Spencer Pratt won, and that's why I led with this story today. It really shows you there's a MAGA red wave and blue flush from sea to shining sea in this country coming.
He's created so much excitement around this voting, this election season. It is absolutely amazing. And the most brilliant part about it is that the two Democrats were arguing amongst each other. Neither one of them does their job. I mean, you watch city council.
Well, it depends on what you consider their job to be. Their job is to hold public office, not be white, and not have a penis. So that's basically their job, and to parade around and saying we hire other people that don't have penises too. and then job done. All right, listen, I gotta move on, but I appreciate the call and keep checking in as news develops. Here's another clip from the debate. If you're on hold, hang in there. This is Spencer Pratt last night.
And again, back to what Councilwoman Rama was saying about that. In her own district, she let one of these NGOs, a building was on the market for $3 million. It sold for $8 million to the NGO with that tax money that she's so concerned about. She wants to watch it all. She can't.
See, here's a real estate scam going on out here, right? Real estate scam.
And again, back to what Councilwoman Rama was saying about that. In her own district, she let one of these NGOs, a building was on the market for $3 million. It sold for $8 million to the NGO with that tax money that she's so concerned about. She wants to watch it all. She can't even keep track of the NGOs in her own district stealing our tax money. So when I'm doing the budget, we're going to make sure no one's stealing our money.
Councilmember Rahman, do you have a response for that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure what specific building Spencer Pratt is.
Yeah, there's so much corruption. I don't know which deal he's talking about.
Referring to, but I will also just say that we have pushed extremely hard to build the oversight system, so much so that I had to go out and get philanthropic support to create the data for performance oversight and accountability.
Blah, blah, blah. They ripped off the city for millions of dollars and they just got busted, okay? It's called accountability. Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mitchell, Tennessee.
Yep, what's up?
Hey, I owe you an apology. I gave you crap about your criticism of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey, and I can admit my faults. Not good. Things are going good, man. I like the way things are headed, and I support Trump 100% with the military operation, and I think that it will be over within 30 days. Gas prices will drop and all that. I don't know what the topic is today.
Well, you should listen to the show before you call, but I'll let you go on a little bit since it's better to listen before you call.
It's fine. But my apologies for ever questioning that in particular.
Well, apology accepted. Do I sense a but coming though? Is there a but?
There is no but.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I appreciate that.
Trump, American flag all the way.
All right, that's awesome. All right.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, appreciate the call. Is he a red-pilled guy? Calls me a while back, and he's an embarrassment. And now he's been red-pilled. All right, apology accepted, and welcome to the MAGA world. Okay, here's another clip. This is Spencer Pratt last night, L.A. mayor's debate, cleaning the clock of these Democrat lunatics.
As mayor, I'm going to add 20 dip sites all around the community.
Dip sites are when those helicopters come down with those big buckets and take the water to put out fires. Karen Bass, they drain those out under care. What do we need all this water for? What do we need all this water for?
As mayor, I'm going to add 20 dip sites all around the communities connecting to pools. So God forbid the water system goes down again. These dip sites that will be connected to individuals' pools will fill up for the helicopters to have water.
Mayor Bass, do you have a response to that?
Yeah, absolutely. He's saying several things that are completely inaccurate. First,
really? So they couldn't put out the damn fires. And then they have this woman, fire chief, that doesn't know how to put fires out.
First of all, there was one reservoir that was out of commission. He is correct. 1 million years ago, it was for wildfires, but over the last 30, 40 years, it's been for drinking water. He talked about the winds. That is just completely inaccurate. If that were accurate, then the planes would have been able to fly. And so the winds reached close to 100 miles an hour, and the planes were unable to fly. So if there were reservoirs, if that reservoir had been open, it would not have worked. We had 2 other reservoirs totaling 8 billion gallons that were available. But could not fly.
Yes, she mentioned me. So she's an incredible liar. Everyone on their phones, Google it. 40 weather stations in the Pacific Palisades. It never went above 40 miles per hour. She is referencing the Altadena fire.
I have to interrupt you. No name calling,
she just
please.
lied, though.
Yeah, but no name calling.
She called me a liar.
We could exactly. Oh my goodness. See, these moderators at LA, they're worried about going home and having all their liberal friends say, "What did you do? You let Spencer Pratt clean Karen's clock." Oh, man. Did you happen to miss the tax filing deadline last month of April 15th? Don't panic. If you missed the deadline and did not file an extension, call Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax. I'm going to give you his number in a moment. Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax. He can handle it for you, okay? He's got a direct line to the IRS. He'll take care of business for you. Don't panic. If you have past years, no matter how many years you haven't filed, call Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax. He'll take care of it for you. And by the way, he can help you with your taxes no matter where you are in the United States. And this is something that really amazed me and shocked me when he told me this. Those of you that owe back taxes, that are in debt to the IRS, hey, that's stressful, isn't it? It really is stressful, and they will get their money. And you hear these ads all over the place, many of them national ads of call this number and they'll take care of your back tax debt. Well, what Jamie LeeZep made me aware of, I met with him on Monday after the show. Those companies, sometimes they charge thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, if you're that far behind in your taxes, you don't have that kind of money laying around. Jamie LeeZep can help you with that for just a tiny, tiny, tiny little fraction of what those other companies charge. Give him a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone. You could call or text Jamie LeeZep, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587 for Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. On the line, we have Louis. He had some issues with some taxes in past years, and he called Jamie LeeZep over at Swift Tax, and Jamie took good care of him. Louis, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. So tell me how Jamie from Swift Tax helped you on your taxes.
Well, I was having trouble with another company. I called Jamie, and bingo, and the next day I had a meeting with him. And the next day, I brought my wife in there with all the paperwork, and he's done straightened all my back taxes out, and I'm actually getting money back now.
Wow, this is pretty amazing. So this other company you went to told you owed the government money, and Jamie over at Swift Tax took a look and found out that not only did you not owe money, you're getting money back from the government?
Yes, I got nice big checks coming soon.
Wow, that's amazing. Do what Louis did. Call Jamie LeeZep over at Swift Tax. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587.
What if your worst date was just the beginning? From author Lisa Rockoff comes a laugh-out-loud, brutally honest, dark comedy about modern romance and the absolute chaos of dating in the age of apps. 20 Last Dates, available on Amazon. In 20 Last Dates, one woman over 55 enters the digital dating jungle and survives 20 truly horrible dates just to tell the story. We're talking about the guy who still lives with his wife, for convenience, of course. The date who gives a full medical history before the coffee even arrives. And the charming storyteller whose entire life falls apart the second the check shows up. From decade-old profile photos to creative truths to enough red flags to decorate a parade. 20 Last Dates is dating in our time. It's smart, sharp, painfully funny, and proves that when it comes to modern love, sometimes the only winning move is to just laugh and maybe order dessert alone. Whether you're 25 or 75, you'll recognize the madness. Order your copy of 20 Last Dates from author Lisa Rockoff on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. Swipe right on the truth and left on everything else. 20 Last Dates from author Lisa Rockoff on Amazon. Every month, an envelope arrives at your door. Inside, a sealed dossier. Coded transmissions, a classified spy story with no clear heroes, and a mole hiding somewhere deep inside the Directorate. Your mission, decode the ciphers, follow the intelligence, uncover the truth. The Directorate, a monthly spy subscription for the kind of person who doesn't stop at the obvious answer. $15 a month. Your first dossier ships within 72 hours. JoinTheDirectorate.com. That's JoinTheDirectorate.com.
Hug, thanks so much for that super sticker. Greatly appreciated. All right, we have 25 seconds and we'll be back. Oh man, I mean this is great. This is great. 15 seconds. Stand by, guys. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. You know, this is really a great time for America, a great time for MAGA, great time for the Republicans. Coming up in a little bit, there's some massive new poll information. Good news, of course, involving our favorite president, Donald Trump. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But, you know, yesterday we were celebrating the MAGA wave and rhino flush of Indiana. Also was talking about Steve Hilton's the front runner in all the polls to become governor of California, endorsed by President Trump. And this morning, 87% of Los Angeles voters who viewed the mayor's debate last night said MAGA Republican Spencer Pratt. 87% say he won the debate, and we're celebrating this. And I want to play a few more clips from the mayor's debate in L.A. last night. This country has always been a conservative country. There's just been a lot of intimidation from the left, and the left have been exposed as incompetent thieves. All right, back to this is the LA mayor's race debate. Spencer Pratt.
Next question. Do you support the ordinance that restricts encampments in front of schools or daycare centers? Mayor Bass, I'm going to start with you. Yes.
You know, now encampments, they're talking about the homeless, okay? And the homeless are scary, man. I mean, they're scary. They're on drugs. They're criminals. They've burned every bridge in their life where now they're on the street. Their own families are afraid of them. And these Democrats like them to have their homeless camps in front of schools where children are.
Next question. Do you support the ordinance that restricts encampments in front of schools or daycare centers? Mayor Bass, I'm going to start with you. Yes. Or no? Ms. Rahman, yes or no?
I support.
She's got to think about it. Drug addicts, felons, sex offenders. Should they be in front of public schools? Blah, blah, blah. She can't say, no, they shouldn't.
Yes or no?
I support keeping our streets safe. I did vote against the structure of this particular ordinance. And it is because, at its best,
it's a yes or no.
It does not, the way this ordinance was structured,
it's
a
no.
yes or no. It does not keep, it does not keep our children safe. It does not keep our children safe. No,
Mr. Pratt.
It doesn't keep our children safe enough.
It's a simple yes or no question, Mr. Pratt.
What I was saying is she's fighting because she doesn't think there's a difference between 1 foot or 500 feet for kids' safety with drug addicts with machetes in front of schools.
Exactly.
Yes or no?
Of course, we do not want encampments in front of schools, parks, daycare.
Okay,
I don't want vehicles.
Mayor, you talked about.
Exactly. They got machetes and needles and God only knows what else. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once.
You suck.
Yeah, well, hey, at least I'm got you, right? Can't be that bad. All right? Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. All right, so let's get back to it here. Another clip from last night's debate. This was just very exciting. If you're on hold, hang in there.
Fire. You lost your neighborhood. How does that really color your view of what needs to happen at this point? And how does that help others moving forward?
Yes, thank you for the question. To the Mayor Karen Bass's, the 1,000 firefighters that were available, but there was no engines for them because of the $17 million that Chief Crowley had asked the mayor for 9 weeks before, and Mayor Karen Bass denied it. So
remember that? The fire engines during the LA fires were in the repair shop. They had no water for the fire hydrants. Most of the fire engines are in the repair shop.
They may have been available, but they didn't have the equipment they needed. Not to mention Janice Quinones, who Mayor Karen Bass put into her position of power at the LA DWP. She drained both of these reservoirs that these firefighters needed to put out these fires. A lot of people will talk about climate change and hurricane force winds. The winds in the Pacific Palisades never reached higher than 40 miles per hour. For those first 6 hours, they didn't go above 27 miles per hour. So without those two reservoirs filled with 117 million gallons and 5 million gallons, these firefighters had to fly all the way to Malibu and Encino to get water. So that, to me, is the most dangerous thing that the mayor put us up against.
Mr. Pratt, a follow-up here, though. What would you do moving forward that would make this better 2 years from now if we face the same situation?
Well, first off, as mayor, I will never drain the reservoirs that we need for wildfire protection. There's this conspiracy now that they're empty, that they were for drinking water. But if you research it, they were actually made for wildfire protection. As mayor, I'm going to add 20 dip sites all around the communities connecting to pools. So God forbid.
I mean, look at this radical idea of competence, right?
The water system goes down again. These dip sites that will be connected to individuals' pools will fill up for the helicopters to have water.
Mayor Bass, do you have a response to that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I played her response earlier. I mean, she's just, and the other thing is, she's completely heartless about the people who have lost everything because of her incompetence. She doesn't care. She just doesn't care.
Say, Councilwoman Robin acts like she doesn't have any authority with this homelessness. She was the third most powerful person in city council. She runs the homeless housing thing. She acts like this is just Mayor Bass. First off, inside safe, I like to say inside safe makes all of us outside unsafe. The reality is no matter how many beds you give these people, they are on super meth. They are on fentanyl. The DEA statistic says 93% of this is a drug addiction problem. Nithya, Councilwoman Robin's plan for treatment first, I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck. These people do not want a bed. They want fentanyl or super meth. These ideas cost us over $400 million to house for 70, what did you say, 3,000 people for $400 million? This is an absolute failure for both of them. They're a team.
Yeah. And, one thing I learned, because I was involved a few years back here in Palm Beach County, we had a big homeless problem where, whatever street corner you went to, whatever intersection you were at, there were 4 homeless people. And we passed an ordinance forbidding panhandling at intersections in Palm Beach County. And it's had a dramatic change. And I crossed the county line and go into Broward. They've all moved to Broward. And, I'm in South Palm Beach, so, I cross the county line a lot. And you can tell immediately because the homeless are on all the intersections in Broward County, ran them out. And Palm Beach, this was years ago, is a Democrat county, and we were able to pass it. Liberals don't even like the homeless on the streets because they're mostly criminals. Criminals, addicts, very dangerous people.
Downtown is so unsafe now that they have to serve the food. All the employees have to eat inside. They can't risk going out. That's why all these beautiful restaurants are.
See, you can't go to a food truck or a restaurant for lunch if you work in downtown because the homeless, it's so dangerous you'll get killed.
Downtown is so unsafe now that they have to serve the food. All the employees have to eat inside. They can't risk going out. That's why all these beautiful restaurants are closing, because it's so unsafe. So before we require city workers to go back into any buildings, we need to enforce the laws on the street. Councilwoman Rahman is talking about safety, yet when animal rescue activist Rebecca Corey came in and said the dogs are being tortured and abused on the streets of downtown, she walked out of the hearing. She doesn't care about safety. She doesn't care about anything she's talking about. At least Mayor Bass pretends to care.
Exactly, pretends to care. I love it. Oh boy, 87% in the polls say that Spencer Pratt won the debate. Now I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. We talk a lot about a lot of different aspects of the great work and quality of service you get as a customer with Laporta Roofing and Tom Laporta. But one thing I want to talk about is this. Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, they work on any type of structure, residential, commercial, and municipal, but also can handle a job of any size. Whether you have one office building, one municipal building, a church, one small single-family home, or you have an HOA or office complex that has over 450 units in it, Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing can handle the job, no matter how big it is. And it's the same thing. No matter how big or small, you have the owner's cell phone number. And when I tell you that this is Tom Laporta's cell phone number, it is. Tom and I text one another pretty regularly. And when you hear me give out his number, I look down at my phone at the most recent text between Tom and I just look and make sure that, because I don't want to slip and give out the wrong number. I can't remember all these phone numbers, so I always check. So this is his actual cell phone number. Imagine having the cell phone number of the owner of the company before, during, and after a job like this. I've never heard of that before. You know, these fly-by-night companies driving all over creation in Florida, the storm chaser types, you don't get a number on them for an office because they don't have an office. And after the job's done, good luck finding them. Give Tom Laporta a call. By the way, he covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. Call us on hold standby. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. Hug, thank you again for that super sticker. Thank you so much.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Hey everyone, there's a children's book I thought was worth sharing. It's called Sir Dunhill's Holiday Handbook for Civilized Survival. It's a short illustrated book with a very dry British sense of humor about family holidays, chaos, and everything that usually goes wrong. It's free right now on Amazon, but only for the next 30 days. So if you've got kids around that 9 to 12 age range, or honestly, if you enjoy that kind of humor yourself, it's definitely worth checking out. Just go to Amazon.com and search Sir Dunhill's Holiday Handbook for Civilized Survival. Order your copy right now.
All right, guys, we got about a minute until we get back. You're all, of course, welcome to call in. Okay, I've lost track of where I was. Did I play this one? Yeah.
Downtown is so
Yeah, okay, played that one. Okay, I'm going to finish up with these clips from the debate last night, because after the top, I want to move on to some other things. So if you're on hold, stand by. I want to go through some more of the clips from the mayor's debate last night. But you can really see, can't you, the change in the country's politics. You know, this re-election President Trump to a second non-consecutive term has just really woken this country up, hasn't it, to the corruption and incompetence of the Democrats? No doubt about it. 15 seconds. Welcome, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Yeah, I'm going to go through some more of these clips because after the top of the hour, I want to move on to some other things. But this mayor's debate following the gubernatorial debate in California, it really shows you how President Trump being elected to this second non-consecutive term has woken up the country to how bad the Democrats truly are. And there's such a major change. All right, listen to this. This is about the LAPD, Spencer Pratt.
In many cases, what is your strategy for getting more people, recruiting more officers and paying for them?
You know, it's more expensive than hiring them is overtime, because that's what these salaries for the fire department that everyone's complaining about, everyone's understaffed. So first off, I'm going to bring hiring back to the LAPD. Right now, the LAPD is hired by the same people that hire sanitation, and we need to bring it back like it was 20 plus years ago so that police hire police.
Wow. So the people that hire the garbage men hire the cops in LA. That doesn't sound very smart to me. Does it to you? No, it doesn't. You know, this is such a great time. In fact, I'm not the only one that's recognized how well Spencer Pratt did. You know, the New York Post has a headline today. Spencer Pratt delivers stunning performance in fiery LA debate showdown. And, you know, it has just been a red MAGA wave around this country. You know, so many people in America have felt like, you know, it didn't matter. The government couldn't do anything for us. You know, we knew a lot of these things were going on. I don't think anyone knew how bad the Democrat corruption was. I mean, we've heard stories, the NGOs and this story and that. And the American people I think we've become, over the years, comfortable with a certain level of government corruption. We expect them to steal a certain amount, right? But when Doge came along, and then Nick Shirley and others, and we see how much they've actually been stealing, and then, you know, when Nick Shirley exposed the Somali pirates, and Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar's response was, "How dare you question us? We have a right to steal. We're from Somalia." Right? You know, that really has been a major change that's affecting all these races. And I wanted to share, did you guys catch Laura Ingraham last night? This was amazing. And by the way, the latest polls are predicting that the Republicans will maintain control of the House. But Laura Ingraham last night, she had a guest on who's an expert on polling. And this was amazing. Listen to this. This is Laura Ingraham last night on Fox with her polling expert. Because, you know, the liberals are going around talking about, oh, Trump's got his polling's in the 30s. Nonsense. Listen.
The polling, I want people to know right now, the polling that you're seeing come in on Trump is incorrect. The reason it's off is most of these polls do not correlate. They don't weight to his last election. Donald Trump has a floor, basically, of about 41, 42 if he has his absolute worst day. He has a ceiling of about 56 or 57 because the rest of the country is so polarized you can only go that far. But he's got a loyal 43 to 44% on any day of the month. And when he's doing well, he's got 50 plus. And the pollsters are wrong, and I'm right. I guarantee I'm right about that.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And that's going viral on social media this morning. That was Laura Ingraham last night with her polling expert. And we're seeing it by the popularity of the Spencer Pratt poll that I shared from NBC. Every poll is showing that Trump-endorsed Steve Hilton is in first place in the California governor's race. We just had this MAGA wave in Indiana that we were covering on the program yesterday. And that it shows you that Trump is incredibly popular, well into the 50s at least, because there's so much success. If people had turned away from Trump and MAGA, we wouldn't have won those Indiana primaries. Steve Hilton wouldn't be in first place. 87% of those who watched the debate in the LA mayor's race in Los Angeles, Los Angelinos, 87% say the MAGA Republican Spencer Pratt won. You wouldn't see these kind of results. You'd see losses. Now, there'll be, that doesn't mean we're going to have 100% victories all over the country. And, they'll win a seat here or something there, and then the Democrats will celebrate. But overwhelmingly, this is a MAGA conservative country. And we're seeing it time and time again. And the media, who are always out to undermine President Trump, are doing everything in their power to try to tell you he's unpopular, yet we keep having these victories like in Indiana night before last. So they're going to keep promoting these low poll numbers to try to convince people that America has turned on Trump. Nothing could be further from the truth. And the president said yesterday that Iran, that they're on the breaking point and are ready to. They got a deal that he thinks will close quickly. In fact, Brett Baer was on with Will Cain yesterday, and Brett Baer had a phone conversation yesterday with President Trump, and specifically about this, and he says that they're about to sign a deal, the Iranians. So we settle Iran, and boom, we got it. I mean, think about the victory that is going to be for President Trump. And I'll tell you, the media, what they're trying to do today, Marco Rubio's meeting with the Pope. And they're trying to spin this in the press as if this is some peace envoy to try to bring the Pope and the president back together. There's no division between the president and the Pope. You know how I know that? The Pope told me so. I saw an interview with him 2-3 weeks back when he talked about this. And, no, he's just going over there because, he's Catholic. He wants to meet the Pope, and the Pope's an American Pope, and he's Secretary of State, and he can do that. I'd do the same thing if I was him. And they're trying to turn it into the Pope versus the U.S. Let me tell you something. It's only a matter of time before the European leaders beg President Trump to not withdraw from Europe. The withdrawing our forces from Europe is a real thing. He's already taken out 5,000 from Germany. Right? And he's threatening to take all of our forces out of Europe. And Marco Rubio's talked about this too. And remember, Europe, not only have they not been paying their NATO dues, they have not been maintaining their own militaries. These European countries do not have standing armies, air forces, or navies. Okay? They have forces for parades. The Fort Lauderdale Air Show's this weekend. We have more planes in the air show than a lot of these countries have in their entire air force. Think about that. So if the United States pulls out of Italy and Germany and wherever else we have bases in Europe, Europe is completely defenseless because they have not maintained their Navy, Air Force, or armies. Because they haven't had to, because the United States was always there. And they knew we were protecting them. And, military is very expensive. And these are small countries. And they don't want to spend money on these things. And they are going to be begging President Trump not to withdraw from Europe. You know why? Because we won't be there. And the NATO alliance is history. It's an outdated alliance anyway. It's counterproductive. It serves no purpose. And, hey, if Putin wants to take Europe, let him. Move into all these countries in Europe. Who cares? Do any of you care? I don't care. We fought 2 wars for Europe. I think that's enough. They're on their own now. Now, I want to talk about American financing. Are you in debt? Do you have high interest credit card debt or other debts? Being in debt it's the worst. And I'll tell you, full disclosure, when I was younger, like a lot of people, I was in debt. And it was awful. Because luckily I'm not now. I don't have any credit card debt. I don't have any debt. But when I did, I remember, making the payments on everything, have nothing left over, and you look at the statement and you don't even make a dent. And it's a trap you feel like you can't get out of. Well, homeowners, American Financing has a way out. They have a real strategic plan to reset your finances. and reclaim your budget. American Financing specializes in building plans tailored specifically to you, your situation, and your goals. American Financing look at your current debt and show you exactly how your home's equity can work smarter for you. Imagine rolling those high-interest debts that you have into one simple, manageable monthly payment. With American Financing, there are no upfront fees and zero pressure. Just honest advice from salary-based consultants. On average, their customers are saving $800 a month. That's $10,000 a year. Give them a call. 866-885-1081. 866-885-1081. American Financing, America's home for home loans. Call them right now. Get out of debt. Get your life back. Get that stress out of your life. 866-885-1081. 866-885-1081 for American Financing. All right. Oh, but did I say that if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments? Yeah, pretty big, huh? It's a lot of money. Okay, that you're saving. Okay, 1 hour down, 2 to go. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and come back with much more. You're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with your calls and more after this. We're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Hank from Hollywood. How you doing?
All right, Hank. What's on your mind?
I called Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. He sent out Scott. Now, Scott is absolutely the best. Scott and Scott's crew are the absolute best. They gave me a great price. They did the job when they said they were going to do it. They finished the job when they said they were going to do it. The materials they used, absolutely the best. I want to thank Tom. I definitely want to thank Scott, and definitely want to thank Scott's crew. These people are number one, and I just want your listeners to know, Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. If you need a new roof, call Tom at Tom Laporta Roofing. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to be disappointed.
Do what Hank did. Call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about bye-bye pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Tom Laporta, Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house, and there's never a downtime. They're old school, which means you call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse, weather, traffic, whatever? Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%. Thanks, Dr. Appleton. Now do what Dr. Appleton did. Pick up your phone and call Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing on your cell phone. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, laportaroofing.com.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank account savings and a house and a car for my two daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything. And I ended up with this wonderful trust for my two daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, we've got just about 20 seconds, and we will be back. We're still in radio station break. I'm going to move on to some other things, but you're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far. All right, stand by. All right, the 7 o'clock hour has begun. My name is Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Okay, so Iran is about to collapse and sign a deal with the president, according to the president. And he said Cuba's next. And we know that Cuba's on the verge of collapse because we've cut off their oil. Well, then yesterday, we get a member of the House of Representatives who basically confessed treason. House Democrat, this is Jayapal, this is Mediaite. House Democrat reveals she's working with other countries to get oil to Cuba. Congresswoman, I mean, this is crazy, okay? Now, and I will say to you, you know, President Trump's policy is we're cutting off oil to Cuba. And not only are we cutting off oil to Cuba, we're winning, right? They're on the ropes. And then Jayapal comes out. Listen to this. In Mediaite, Congresswoman Jayapal Democrat, revealed she's been working with other countries to get oil to Cuba at an event Monday evening. Even as the Trump administration enforces a de facto oil embargo by threatening to impose tariffs on imports from any other country that directly or indirectly sells or otherwise provides any oil to Cuba. So is Jayapal committing treason? In fact, what she's doing is interfering not just with U.S. foreign policy, which is a violation of the Logan Act. She's going against U.S. policy, and she's also interrupting the government business of the president, which by the Democrat definition, is an insurrection. In January, Trump issued an executive order threatening tariffs on any country supplying fuel to Cuba. That was this January, just a few months ago. And oil shipments from Venezuela, that's where Cuba had been getting its oil, were halted after U.S. operations to kidnap Maduro. That's her talking. Let me pull it up here. Here she is, Jayapal, confessing her treason.
In January, Trump issued an executive order threatening tariffs on any country supplying fuel to Cuba. This was this January, just a few months ago. And oil shipments from Venezuela, that's where Cuba had been getting its oil, were halted after the U.S. operations to kidnap Nicolas Maduro.
Notice kidnap, not bring to justice this guy who was invading this country with these violent, illegal rapists, murderers, and gang members, right? And also leading a drug cartel. He was kidnapped. We didn't kidnap Maduro any more than we kidnapped El Chapo. He was apprehended.
Since January, only one Russian tanker of oil has made it to Cuba. In fact, it landed just a couple of days before I landed. And one...
Hear that? She actually traveled. She actually traveled to Cuba to help them go around U.S. foreign policy and get oil.
And one tanker has enough oil basically for 10 to 14 days of Cuba's oil needs. So it's a very limited amount of time. Now, Russia has said they're going to send another tanker. I was in conversations with the ambassadors from Mexico and some other places. And
So she's in Cuba dealing with the Cubans to try to go around U.S. policy of the president. She may have some communications with the Russians. I don't know, but by this, she's trying to get Russian oil in there. And then she said she was in conversations with ambassadors from Mexico and other Latin American countries. This is more than just the Logan Act. Is this treason? I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Did Democrat Jayapal commit treason here? 888-465-2631.
Cuba's oil needs. So it's a very limited amount of time. Now, Russia has said they're going to send another tanker. I was in conversations with the ambassadors from Mexico and some other places, and I know other countries in Latin America are trying to figure out how to get oil there, but it is a crisis beyond imagination. Just this past Friday, on May 1st, Trump signed a broad executive order that widens sanctions and allows for new penalties similar to what we have for Iran and Russia against foreign banks and firms that are dealing with Cuba, and it also reinforces the ban on U.S. tourism. I have called these sanctions an economic bombing of the infrastructure of Cuba. It is illegal. It is against the war. We've been talking about this in Iran, obviously, to bomb the infrastructure of any country. That is against international law. This is essentially doing the same thing. It is bombing the infrastructure of Cuba with economic sanctions that essentially ensure that the infrastructure collapses.
Wow. So should she be arrested and charged with treason, violating the Logan Act, and I don't know what other crimes? I mean, when there has been a state of hostility with us since the Cuban Missile Crisis, even before with Cuba, right? We've had a U.S. embargo on Cuba forever, but it's been like the Iranian embargoes, fake embargoes. This is the first true embargo we've had. And there's a reason why we have an embargo against Cuba. It's not that we dislike Cuba. We love Cuba, right? 90 miles from Key West. The U.S. embargo on Cuba is for one reason and one reason only. It will be lifted when they have a free and fair election, which they haven't done ever. That's it. Pretty simple. And they won't do it. And the country is on the verge of collapse. And you have a sitting member. See, this is where it gets really dangerous. We have a sitting member of Congress, not just colluding. You know, Mexico, we have hostilities with Mexico going on right now, right? Because it's a drug cartel government. Beyond her violations of the Logan Act and treason, she should be arrested yesterday. They've arrested higher members of government. Goldbar Menendez got arrested. He's in prison. He did less than her. Took bribes, which is bad, but he did less than her. She actually traveled to Cuba to coordinate this. I'd like to know what she did down there, who she met with. But on top of the treason, on top of the Logan Act violations, the collusion with foreign governments against the President of the United States and his policies and orders, I can't think of anything that is a clearer example of treason than that. I mean, is what she has done textbook treason? I say yes. But she's also giving hope to the Cubans. Stick it out. We're helping you. Stick out. Stick it out. Fight Trump. Fight Trump. There's hope. I'm here for you. I'm Congresswoman Jayapal. What kind of name is Jayapal, by the way? I don't know. Anyone know? See, this is what people in this country have woken up to, right? You know, all those years of people on the right saying the Democrats are the hate America first party. It has never been more clear that they are a hate America first party than it is these days. Not only, but now they don't hide it. They used to hide it. Now they don't hide it. They openly oppose the United States. They openly undermine the United States. Right? They go on television like Jay Powell did here and brag about it. Here's an article in Breitbart. Florida Senator Rick Scott rips House Dems after Jay Powell says she's been trying to help Cuba get oil. Let's see here. Is he calling for her arrest? He posted on X. Rick Scott posted on X, disturbing. Representative Jeffries and House Democrat members of your party are openly admitting to aiding a communist adversary in coordination with foreign countries to violate American sanctions. This is Rick Scott. Then he tags POTUS. POTUS, put those sanctions in place to keep Americans safe and hold the... let me see what else he said. Hold on, let me pull up the whole thing. I got to click it to see what else he said. POTUS, put those sanctions in place to keep Americans safe and to hold the Castro-Diaz regime accountable for their crimes. Trump derangement syndrome should never come before national security. Well, I want to take it further than our great Senator Rick Scott, who's awesome. He was a great governor, too. Jay Powell should be arrested. There should be a very high-profile arrest. She should be charged with treason and violations of the Logan Act. You cannot coordinate with foreign governments to undermine the President of the United States on current policy. And when there's a conflict, as we have now with Cuba, you can't go to Cuba and meet with their government representatives to undermine the President of the United States. For any American citizen, that would be treason. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Are you in pain? Go see Dr. Appleton. Go see him today. I'm going to give you his number in a moment. Call over there and then get directions and go and say bye-bye to your pain like I've done 7 times. His robotic laser away pain treatment works. You know, Dr. Appleton is so highly skilled. He has so much experience with this. He's able to determine where the pain is coming from in your body. And he's done this with me every time. I give you an example. I went in and I had a pain in my hand and arm, and he said, no, Brian, it's your shoulder. It's coming from right here. And I said, but Doc, it's my hand. He said, the pain's coming here. I said, okay, Doc. He treated the here was in my shoulder. It was one of my 3 shoulder injuries he rid me of the pain from. And he treated me with the robotic laser. He pinpointed where the pain was coming from in my shoulder. I saw relief almost immediately, and the next day I saw a lot of relief. And then I went back for a follow-up and the pain was gone and it hasn't returned. It works. He repaired the damage in my shoulder. He did this 3 times with 3 different injuries that was causing the pain. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Remember, the consultation is free. Appointments are not necessary even on Saturdays. If you have scans or x-rays, bring them. Dr. Appleton will gladly look them over for you. 954-973-0710 and online, AppletonCairo.com. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll go to the phones when we get back. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian. Back after this.
Every month, an envelope arrives at your door. Inside, a sealed dossier. Coded transmissions, a classified spy story with no clear heroes, and a mole hiding somewhere deep inside the Directorate. Your mission, decode the ciphers, follow the intelligence, uncover the truth. The Directorate, a monthly spy subscription for the kind of person who doesn't stop at the obvious answer. $15 a month. Your first dossier ships within 72 hours. Join the Directorate.com. That's jointhedirectorate.com. What if the business you built to give you freedom is the very thing trapping you? Author Rosa Garor challenges the hustle culture myth that success requires exhaustion. Instead, she shows you how to build a business that actually supports your life, not consumes it, in the must-read book, Entrepreneur, How to Build a Thriving Business Without Burning Out Your Life. Available on Amazon. If you're tired of long hours, constant stress, and feeling like your success comes at the cost of your health, your family, and your peace of mind, Entrepreneur offers a different path. With this must-read and life-changing book, you'll discover practical frameworks, real-world actionable insights, as well as powerful strategies to help you reclaim your time, redesign your business, and create sustainable success without burnout. Whether you're just starting out or already running a business that feels overwhelming, Entrepreneur can help you build smarter, live better, and succeed without sacrificing what matters most. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, hardcover, and free with Kindle Unlimited. Stop building a business that traps you and start building one that sets you free with Entrepreneur, How to Build a Thriving Business Without Burning Out Your Life. From author Rosa Garor on Amazon. Are you looking for a better way to care for your skin? One without all those harsh chemicals. That's exactly what you will find at Treacy'sTreasures.com, where handcrafted artisan soaps are made with intention, quality, and ingredients you can actually feel good about. Every bar at Treacy'sTreasures.com is created in small batches using nourishing plant-based oils like olive oil, coconut oil, and castor oil, all designed to gently cleanse while helping your skin stay soft, hydrated, and refreshed. Each soap is carefully scented with essential oils or high-quality fragrance blends and naturally colored using clays, botanicals, and herbal infusions. There's no sulfates, no parabens, and no unnecessary additives. Just thoughtfully crafted soap that works with your skin, not against it. From beautifully designed artisan bars to simple everyday favorites, Treacy'sTreasures.com has a variety of options for all skin types. Some selections even include rich, skin-loving ingredients like goat's milk for an extra touch of moisture and care. Because every batch is handcrafted, no two bars are exactly the same, giving you something truly unique every time you order. Upgrade your daily routine with something more natural, more personal, and more enjoyable. Visit Treacy'sTreasures.com. That's TRICEYS Treasures.com.
All right, we have 9 seconds. We'll be back. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Let's go to the phones. I've covered a lot today. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Man, I'm definitely with you 100%. You know, there's a big difference when somebody wants to get up and say they don't like a certain policy. There's a whole other story going to a foreign country and colluding with them and trying to stab the president in the back with his policy. Mm-hmm. He should be removed immediately from Congress and locked up or charged with, if it's not treason, something else. Man, this is really.
She should be arrested. I mean, she confessed. She confessed. She went to Cuba and met with foreign governments to undermine the policy of the President of the United States in a time of conflict. Remember, when we went and arrested Maduro, we had to fight Cuban troops who were guarding him. We killed Cubans. Hey, appreciate the call, Doug. And so there's a state of hostility going on between us and Cuba. There's no clearer example of treason I've seen in a long time. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Good morning.
Hey, Richie. Oh, by the way, yesterday the stock market hit an all-time high. Let's not let that go without being pointed out. All right, go ahead, Richie.
Yeah, this really hits home with me. First of all, she should have been in jail yesterday. What she's done, she could go there with her contingent. She could make recommendations. She can go back to Congress, make recommendations. They could even have votes on eliminating sanctions or whatever, but she can't do what she can't do what she just did.
No.
This Trump derangement syndrome has got to stop.
Mm-hmm.
How much evidence do you want? I've been calling your show saying they're communists for how long now?
Oh yeah.
Now, let me tell the people that I don't want to go through a history of Cuba, but it hits home with me because my wife is from Venezuela. Okay, now, my wife's brother, sister-in-law, cousins, everybody had to flee Venezuela. It left my brother-in-law left a beautiful condominium in Venezuela because there's no food, there was no jobs, there was nothing, and so he's living now in Spain.
Yeah,
he had to go to Spain because his wife had dual citizenship. So they had to flee the country that they from. So people are always saying, the Venezuelans, the people were
there's been a famine. There's been a famine in Venezuela. I didn't realize how bad it was. My daughter has a friend that she knows in Venezuela, and she said that he's been starving. There's no food.
Yeah. Listen to me. But the Cuban security is what provided. In other words, it's not security, folks. The police make sure there's no crime. It's to put the people of Venezuela in fear that they would be shot, whatever, by Cuban soldiers.
That's right.
And the deal was, we get free oil and we give you the soldiers.
Correct.
So what Trump did when he pulled Maduro out was he freed the Venezuelan people of these Cubans, and Cuba has been infested all over South America with Russia. And by the way,
when we went into Venezuela, remember, we were fighting Cuban soldiers. So we're in a state of war with Cuba right now.
Well, not just that. You know what's in Venezuela, right? And Venezuela and Cuba, you had jihadists. You had the Iranians were there, the Russians were there, the Chinese were there. All our enemies were all over. That was the headquarters. So what she has done, first of all, this is the closest they've been to freeing the Cuban people. Is there famine? Absolutely. Is it her business? No, it's not her business. She's a communist. She's causing problems. All of a sudden, they're worried about people and children. They didn't care when they opened the borders here when people were dying coming over. I mean, this is ridiculous. Brian, not for nothing, people better open their eyes. And I know I'm going to call Friday to bring you this one, but for the first time in New York City, by the way, yesterday, the Mandani and his regime took private property and took a building, a couple buildings away from this landlord, and he has a judgment. You know what a judgment is, right?
Oh yeah, you're done.
Pay a judgment
you're done. And what they're doing is they're acting like the HOAs of Florida. They're using zoning and codes to confiscate private property. It's like it's the Soviet Union up there.
Confiscating exactly, and the judgment.
But Richie, when he ran for mayor, he said that's what he was going to do. He was going to use code enforcement to seize private property and make it public.
People are stupid because the city's on the hook to fix everything now, and they have no money. The city's going to take over buildings now in New York.
Yeah.
How is that going to work out?
Yeah.
And so these are communists.
Yes.
Jayapal
Correct.
belongs in jail immediately.
Yes.
Her and all of them. I can't believe she's not in jail.
Yeah. Well, this story, let me tell you, the president's got a lot going on. And this story is starting to go viral now. I'm sure he's very well aware of it by now, and we'll see. Kash Patel arrested the top Democrat from the Virginia state government yesterday. Busted her place. So she's in big trouble.
What's the difference if now she decided to send a contingency to Iran and try to help Iranians out?
No difference at all.
What's the difference?
Same thing.
There's absolutely no difference. The same thing.
Mm-hmm.
She is a communist. And by the way, she's from India. That's that name, Jayapal.
Yeah, I know.
She's an Indian.
Well, the problem is, it's hard to say, but Steve Hilton's from the UK, but the Democrat Party has been taken over by foreigners. And they're working against the United States. It's a It's really an attack on our country through these foreigners. All right, Richie, appreciate the call. You take care. I'll take one more call before the break. I shouldn't, but I will. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Oh, got a winner. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. The rest of you on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number is 888-465-2631, 2631. If you missed the tax deadline last month and did not file an extension, call Jamie Levac today. I'm going to give you Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. I'm going to give you his cell phone number in a moment. You can call or text. Don't worry. If you missed the tax deadline and did not file an extension, Jamie Levac will take care of it for you. Give him a call. He can help you no matter where you are located in the United States. If you have past years that you haven't filed, call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He'll help you out with it. If you're in debt to the IRS, and I know a lot of you are, call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He'll work it out for you. You know, people that are in debt to the IRS, it's frightening for people. It's frightening. And maybe you have a payment agreement, but you can't. You're struggling and you're not making a dent in what you call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. You know, even if you've never contacted the IRS and you have a past debt that you owe to the IRS, call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. And you know, he told me that a lot of these companies you're hearing advertising all over the place with national people doing the ads. He told me those companies charge thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to help you with your back tax issue, your tax debt. Jamie Levac will help you with that for just a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of what these other companies charge. So give him a call. Again, this number rings directly to Jamie Levac at Swift Tax's cell phone number. You can call or text 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587, 954-773-1587 for Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. All right, we'll be back after this.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Most people fail civics test for one reason. They're studying the wrong way. They try to memorize pages, highlight books, and still forget what matters when it counts. Because traditional studying was never designed for real retention. CitizenshipShortcut.com changes that with game-based learning. With CitizenshipShortcut.com, you'll practice like a game show, climb the leaderboard, and actually remember what you learn. And it's built on the same system behind From Gig to Greatness, turning complicated systems into simple, repeatable wins you can use in real life. CitizenshipShortcut.com isn't just test prep. It's how you learn faster, think sharper, and perform under pressure. Go to CitizenshipShortcut.com right now and start learning the way your brain was actually built to work. CitizenshipShortcut.com. What if luxury didn't have to feel out of reach, but instead felt personal, effortless, and completely you? That's what you will find at Lila Ray Jewelry. Founded by Rebecca Zaltis, who's drawn upon her over a decade of experience at a family-owned jeweler known for exquisite diamonds and custom designs, Lila Ray Jewelry brings that same artistry into stunning wearable pieces, crafted in sterling silver and gold vermeil. Inspired by the vibrant color of Rebecca's childhood and the breathtaking hues of Cape Cod, as well as Shelter Island beaches, the Lila Ray Jewelry Collection blends colorful expression with timeless elegance. These are pieces designed to stand out, yet fit seamlessly into your everyday life. Lila Ray Jewelry is where beauty meets accessibility. You'll find high-end designer-inspired styles that are budget-friendly without ever sacrificing quality, detail, or versatility. Because true luxury isn't about the price tag, it's about how it makes you feel. Every piece at Lila Ray Jewelry is thoughtfully created to help you express your unique style in a way that's fun, effortless, and unmistakably yours. Discover jewelry that's classic, colorful, and made for real life. Go right now to shoplilaray.com. That's shop, LILARAE.com. View the collection. You will be impressed. You'll also find great gifts and find that perfect piece that speaks to you. Shop LilaRay.com.
All right, we'll be back in about 30 seconds. When we get back, I want to recap what I've covered today because I've covered so much. And then I'll get into some new things. If you're on hold, hang in there. Stand by. Welcome, everyone. Please like the video, guys. If you've not already done it, like the video. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. I have covered a lot on the program today. I want to do a recap just for a few moments here on everything I've covered since 6. And you know, first I started off with this mayor's race in Los Angeles. Spencer Pratt against these two liberal lunatic ladies. And not only did he clean their clock and get them to admit all kinds of things like illegals should be able to vote, and drug addicts high on meth, crack, and in possession of machetes should be able to camp out in front of schools where children are. There was a poll. This was a local. He's a MAGA Republican, by the way, Spencer Pratt, and it aired on local television in Los Angeles, on the local NBC affiliate in LA, and on Telemundo in LA. And Channel 4 NBC News that moderated the debate with Telemundo in Los Angeles did a poll after the debate of Los Angelinos who watched the debate. 87% said Spencer Pratt won. This goes into this trend following up the MAGA wave of Indiana yesterday, and that first and second, there's a new poll out, first and second place in the California governor's race is Steve Hilton and the sheriff are first and second place. And if that's the way the primary turns out, that means the general election will have two Republicans running against one another, which means we will have a Republican governor of California. I hope it's Trump-endorsed Steve Hilton. But, you know, with the mayor's debate poll last night in L.A., the governor's race in California, Indiana, you know, we're in this midterm election season, and they all say, oh, well, you look at history, and it says the party in power loses. This is a different time, okay? This is a different time. First of all, we don't have a time where we had a president elected to a second non-consecutive term in the modern era. It hasn't happened since the 1800s. Things are different. And there's been a great awakening in this country in the last year alone, starting with Doge and all these other things that were exposed about the government corruption and thievery going on by the Democrats. And there is a major move in this country of people that may have been Democrats their entire life who have said, I've had enough. I've had enough. And between that awakening and the redistricting that's going on to undo Democrat Party gerrymandering around the country, we're looking at a red MAGA wave and blue flush come November. The latest polls show that the Republicans are projected to maintain control of the Senate. And with the redistricting in the South alone, the Democrats have lost 12 seats with the redistricting in the South alone. Republicans have gained 12. And this redistricting that DeSantis just signed into Florida law will rid us of Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who's in a big-time gerrymandered district. So things are looking great on every front. Now, the other topic I was talking about before the bottom of the hour break was Congresswoman Jayapal, who took it upon herself. I don't know what she was thinking, but Jayapal went on television and confessed that she's been committing treason. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Okay, I am as serious as a heart attack, and I'm gonna pull up her confession here and play it for you again, because I was in total shock, and so we're in a conflict with Cuba beyond the normal hostilities. Remember, when we liberated Venezuela and went in and apprehended Maduro and his psychotic wife, okay, U.S. forces had to fight Cuban soldiers. Cuban soldiers shot at our guys and we killed theirs. And since then, we've had the first true embargo against Cuba, and the president has Cuba on the verge of collapse. And it's because their oil has been cut off. See, Maduro had a deal with Cuba. Protect me from my starving people that want to do me like Mussolini, and I'll give you free oil. Well, now that Venezuela has been liberated and is a client state of the United States, Cuba's cut off from oil. They're on the verge of collapse. And Democrat Congressman Jayapal, she went, I'm going to play you the audio. If you're on hold, hang in there. She went on television yesterday and confessed that she committed treason and violated the Logan Act. And to sum up what she says, and then you'll hear it in her own disgusting, treasonous words and a prepared speech. She even wrote down her treason. She traveled to Cuba, met with Cuba officials and ambassadors from other countries, including Mexico, to try to figure out a way to smuggle oil into Cuba around the U.S. embargo. She's a U.S. citizen and sitting member of Congress. If that's not treason, I don't know what is. She very well may be arrested. They went after General Flynn for the Logan Act. This is hardcore. This isn't even up for debate. Logan Act violation and treason. Here's Jayapal confessing.
In January, Trump issued an executive order threatening tariffs on any country supplying fuel to Cuba. This was this January, just a few months ago. And oil shipments from Venezuela, that's where Cuba had been getting its oil, were halted after the U.S. operations to kidnap Nicolas Maduro. Since January.
Notice the words kidnap Maduro. No, he was apprehended. He was arrested and taken into custody. She calls that kidnapping.
Only one Russian tanker of oil has made it to Cuba. In fact, it landed just a couple of days before I landed. And one tanker has enough oil basically for 10 to 14 days of Cuba's oil needs. So it's a very limited amount of time. Now, Russia has said they're going to send another tanker. I was in conversations with the ambassadors from Mexico and some other places, and I know other countries in Latin America are trying to figure out how to get oil there.
See, so she went to Cuba and met with foreign government representatives to try to figure out a way around the U.S. embargo that the president has put on keeping oil from Cuba. Is that treason?
I was in conversations with the ambassadors from Mexico and some other places, and I know other countries in Latin America are trying to figure out how to get oil there, but it is a crisis beyond imagination. Just this past Friday on May 1st, Trump signed a broad executive order that widens sanctions and allows for new penalties similar to what we have for Iran and Russia against foreign banks and firms that are dealing with Cuba, and it also reinforces the ban on U.S. tourism. I have called these sanctions an economic bombing of the infrastructure of Cuba. It is illegal, it is against the war, we've been talking about this in Iran, obviously, to bomb the infrastructure of any country. That is against international law. This is essentially doing the same thing. it is bombing the infrastructure of Cuba with economic sanctions that essentially ensure that the infrastructure collapses.
That's right. Yeah. That's U.S. policy. Okay. So, see, in America, we have freedom of speech, freedom of expression. You can oppose the U.S. policy all you want in the United States and be very vocal about your opposition. You're a member of Congress. You can even introduce some type of legislation to condemn the actions of the government. But what she did was a step further. She traveled to the country we are in conflict with, Cuba, met with Cuban officials, ambassadors from Mexico and other Latin American countries to try to find a way around the U.S. oil embargo with Cuba. That's where the Logan Act and treason comes in. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Has she committed treason? Should she be arrested? They raided the black female Democrats' business yesterday in Virginia. Why not Jayapal? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Darlene from Northern Kentucky.
Hey, Darlene.
This situation with Jayapal is highlighting a problem we have mostly on the Democrat side of allowing people who are not natural-born, at least third-generation Americans, to hold office in our country. She immigrated to this country in 1965. She was 16 years old, according to the history I read on her. Took her 17 years. That tells me she came here illegally. She had to fight a lot of stuff to be able to become a citizen.
I want to remind you of something, though, that you may not be aware of. President Trump is a first-generation American. His mother was from Scotland.
Well, his dad was not, though.
But still, his mother was from Scotland.
He was raised in a
and all of the Trump children, except Tiffany, are first-generation Americans. Their mothers are foreign-born, naturalized U.S. citizens. But I get your point. Yeah, with the Democrat Party.
There needs to be some limit on it, some kind of controlling factor, because these people are paperwork citizens only. They're not cultural Americans.
They become citizens to undermine this country and to bring us down. Exactly. They're not becoming citizens for good reasons. Like the Somali pirate leader Ilhan Omar, right? She didn't become a citizen for any reason other than to rip off the country.
Came from a pretty powerful family in Somalia. I think they had to leave because of the civil war. Their family was they were up there.
Talib's another one, right? Talib's another one with all her Muslim Brotherhood friends.
Yep. We need to bring back the un-American activities.
Yeah, absolutely. Jayapal should be arrested. She may get arrested. When she's done, Cuba's on this Cuba policy is at the top of the list for President Trump and the Secretary of State of things to accomplish.
And she should be.
And she very well may be. I wouldn't be as confident with that if we didn't have that big bust in Virginia yesterday.
Oh, that was great. That was great news.
All right, appreciate the call, Kentucky. You take care. Callers on hold, stand by. I want to talk about Life Imaging FLA. Listen, I don't care who you are or how old you are, call Life Imaging FLA and get that heart scan. Get it. I'm tired of reading these stories in the news of people dropping dead from heart attacks, and everyone says, they had no health problems. They used to jog every day. Oh, she was at the gym all the time. Oh, he walked the neighborhood every day, perfect shape, and then he has a heart attack. This is what I didn't realize until I found out about Life Imaging FLA. One of the reasons you don't have symptoms, and the first symptom of 30 to 40% of heart attacks is instant death, okay? What happens is when you have that blockage and plaque buildup, oftentimes your body adjusts to it. And it's only when you get the full blockage that, boom, you call Life Imaging FLA, you get that scan, and you'll know. You'll know. And you can take care of it. We've had listeners in this audience call me live on the air who went over to Life Imaging FLA, no symptoms, went over for the free heart scan, and found out that they had blockage or other heart conditions. One of our listeners called me live on the air, found out he had a tumor. No symptoms. Boom, because he had the cancer screening. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements. valued at $699. From your cell phone, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. Call us on hold. You stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Back after this.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Hi, Tom Laporta here. We are Laporta Roofing, a family business since 1983. You are our customer. In other words, our boss. We are here for and because of you, not the other way around. The 2026 rainy season is upon us. Because we haven't had a hurricane in 2 years, all the storm chaser roofing companies have gone out of business, leaving only the strongest and the best contractors. At Laporta Roofing, we will never sell you a roof you don't need. We don't have salesmen or commissions, so we will never pressure you to sign a contract. Also, deposits are not required. At Laporta Roofing, you will always come first. We must earn your trust, and we will. So call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, or on the web at laportaroofing.com.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank account savings and a house and a car for my 2 daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything. And I ended up with this wonderful trust for my 2 daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my 2 daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney, Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my 2 daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, we'll be back in 20 seconds, guys. Stand by. If you'd like to call in, the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. So things are going well I was sharing with you last night, Laura Ingraham. I'll play this clip again because it was so great. There's new polls out. The latest poll is showing that Republicans are forecasted to maintain control of the Senate, which is awesome. And Laura Ingraham had this incredible pollster on last night, there's all this talk of Trump's only got 34%. These are lies. Listen to this. She had a pollster on, and, polling is a science, right? And this is Laura Ingraham last night.
The polling, I want people to know right now, the polling that you're seeing come in on Trump is incorrect. The reason it's off is most of these polls do not correlate. They don't weight to his last election. Donald Trump has a floor, basically, of about 41, 42 if he has an absolute worst day. He has a ceiling of about 56 or 57 because the rest of the country is so polarized you can only go that far. But he's got a loyal 43 to 44% on any day of the month. And when he's doing well, he's got 50 plus. And the pollsters are wrong, and I'm right. I guarantee I'm right about that.
Okay, so that was Laura Ingraham last night, and that's Matt Towery's his name. He's a pollster. And so the president's approval ratings are well into the 50s, and we're seeing that, right? The MAGA wave in Indiana, the support of the redistricting around the country that's going on, doing away with these gerrymandered Democrat districts. And I'll tell you, other than the Coven of the View and an isolated pundit here and there on CNN or MSNBC, there's been no national protest against doing away with the Supreme Court ruling, doing away with the racially segregated black congressional districts. Have you noticed that? There's been no protest, no demonstrations. You know why? You know why? Because the Southern Poverty Law Center has been shut down. That's why, right? Have you noticed with these controversial things, the redistricting that's going on, all this, there's been no protest? So between USAID and the Southern Poverty Law Center, they don't have any organization left to put out their fake protest. And you got to wonder, these protests we've been seeing, how many of them were fake? There was a big exposure earlier this week of Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, the liberals, they love Nick Fuentes. He's a young guy who talks like Mark Levin. Right? He does like a Mark Levin accent. And he's been out there saying, I'm the true MAGA. I'm the MAGA man. He has millions of followers and watchers and listeners to his filthy program. And then two things happened. First, Elon Musk came out and said that his social media following is all bots. It's not real. And he slipped on the air and said he's a Democrat a couple of days ago. Isn't that something? So, and now we find that President Trump's numbers, according to Laura Ingraham's pollster last night, and I agree with this, are in the 50s. In fact, the mid to high 50s, 56 to 57%. So not only did we have the MAGA victory in Indiana, there's no protest to the redistricting that's going on. There's no look at Jasmine Crockett. She's a sitting black female in the House of Representatives. Her district no longer exists. She's done. The other gerrymandered black districts, gone. No protest. Democrats lost 12 seats by redistricting in the South alone. Republicans have gained 12 seats in the House alone, just in the South. Right? No outrage. The number 1 and number 2 ranked candidates in the California gubernatorial race are both Republicans. Steve Hilton and that sheriff. Now, I don't like the sheriff, okay? He likes to take a knee to Black Lives Matter and beg for the forgiveness of being white, which is insane. But I'd rather have a liberal Republican than a Democrat. But, I want Steve Hilton to win. He's endorsed by the president. And the poll last night in L.A. shows that MAGA Republican Spencer Pratt, 87% of Los Angeles people who were polled, who watched the debate last night, 87% said MAGA Republican Spencer Pratt won. So don't let any of these liberals convince you or tell you or get away with trying to sell a line of BS that President Trump's approval rating is in the 30s. Because it's not. It's well into the 50s. That's why we're seeing this trend. I'm not a big follower of polls in general. What I follow with polls are the trends. The trends, okay? And, the trend is your friend. And all trends indicate a massive MAGA victory in November in the midterms. Now, of course, we have to have a mass turnout. We have to turn out to vote. Don't forget about doing that, because that's really important, okay? But, but we're doing incredibly well. We are. Now, at the very end of the show yesterday, I want to mention this again. Those of you that are booked on our next MAGA cruise, and I want to tell you, the next MAGA cruise, which is in March on the Celebrity Apex, which is not the Apex, on the Celebrity Excel, is the newest Celebrity Cruise Line ship. The Celebrity Excel, it is the newest and the flagship of Celebrity Cruise Line. I took a tour of this ship. It is so modern, so cool, has so many things their other ships don't. I was amazed by it. This is the 50th anniversary of the Steve Kane Show cruise. It's our 11th MAGA cruise, but we'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Steve Kane radio show on our next cruise. And those of you that are already booked, call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot today. There's a major special going on all the additions, on the drink packages, internet, and things like that, a huge discount. So I get the premium drink package, so I can order any drink I want, and I can have 100 a day or 200 a day if I want. And I get the top internet package for the fastest speeds. There's a discount going on that right now. Call Ian, he'll upgrade you. You want to do it now. It's a Memorial Day special. But those of you who have not made a reservation, now's the time to do it. We've got a great group rate, and there are some Memorial Day specials going on. And you're going to be a part of an incredible cruise. It's our 11th annual MAGA cruise and the 50th celebration of the Steve Kane Show cruise. You will not want to miss this. Give Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot a call and book now. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779 for Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. We'll come back with your calls and Steve Kane after the top of the hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. But next show will be 50, and that's when the cruise will happen. All right, we'll see you on the other side of our top of the hour break. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, Tom Laporta here. We are Laporta Roofing, a family business since 1983. You are our customer. In other words, our boss. We are here for and because of you, not the other way around. The 2026 rainy season is upon us. Because we haven't had a hurricane in 2 years, all the storm chaser roofing companies have gone out of business, leaving only the strongest and the best contractors. At Laporta Roofing, we will never sell you a roof you don't need. We don't have salesmen or commissions, so we will never pressure you to sign a contract. Also, deposits are not required. At Laporta Roofing, you will always come first. We must earn your trust, and we will. So call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, or on the web at laportaroofing.com.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for now, man. It's everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man, and Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
All right, Steve, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, we got 1 minute. I got Barry, so I'm going to conference him in. So hold on. All right, Barry, we have 1 minute.
Okay.
All right, stand by. All right, the 8 o'clock hour has begun. I'm Brian Steve Caines here. It's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. What do you have for us today?
Well, here in Florida, you run into people all the time, and they are from somewhere else.
Yep.
In fact, most people are not native Floridians. I actually happen to be the exception. I am one, but most people aren't. They come from somewhere else. And when you're coming from somewhere else, a lot of these people who are coming to our office need to update their estate planning because they've done it in New York, New Jersey, Boston, California, wherever they came from. And those documents were done under California law, New York law, and estate planning is state specific. So for those people who are not native Floridians or haven't been here a long time and don't have their Florida documents, it's time to come in for a review of your situation so we can make sure that you have current estate planning documents under Florida law so that you can have an estate plan that works here in Florida if you're a Florida resident and you intend to stay a Florida resident.
Yeah, and if you have your documents from another state, when you meet with Attorney Barry Siegel, bring them with you, and the Siegel Law Group will review them. And that's a common thing. I mean, not just snowbirds. People, I would imagine, permanently move to Florida, and they figure they're okay because they got this document from New Jersey, and that's just not the case.
Exactly. So at the very least, they should come in, bring it in, we'll look at it, and be able to let them know what they need to do.
Well, listen, I'm going to give you guys the number. Give the Siegel Law Group a call, and if you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the program, you can take advantage of the no-charge in-office consultation. 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. And Siegel is spelled S-I-E-G-E-L. SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
All right, take care. All right, Steve Kane join us. Hey, Steve.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, great. I mean, this is just what's going on in this country right now is all so good. There's so much winning going on for us.
Yes, it is astounding and amazing, and depending on what you use as your primary news source, there was a major issue that I was watching last night on Fox that consumed their news division. I'm sure there's an overlap between what you're talking about and talking about the troubles of New York City, but they talked about the fact that Mamdani, whatever his name is, their administration is almost in a state of collapse and bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And no one ever dreamed it would happen this quickly. I mean, it's only been less than 6 months.
How's that even possible? I mean, he's been in office, January, February, March, April, and May just started. So
well, it shows when you really don't know what you're doing and you try to run New York with no experience, it's not for not for the faint-hearted.
But you know,
he's in big trouble, and it's manifesting itself. Have you seen any of the violence on television?
I didn't see any of the news out of New York yesterday because I've been following other things.
Huge violence. I mean, there's always been moderate amount of violence. Again, most of it headed or aimed at the Jewish population.
No, yeah, they hate Jews.
I've never seen it this bad, and it's getting organized, and they're saying his mayorship is in danger.
Well, what would happen?
Well,
I mean, he would just say, I got a different take on Mamdani than I think anybody else does. First of all, he's so stupid, with that stupid grin on his face, and he, his whole life, mommy, who's bought him everything he's wanted and told him he's great, no matter what he does. I don't think he cares if he fails. I think his primary agenda is the Islamification of New York City, and to have a Muslim mayor 25 years after the Islamic terrorist attack of 9/11, I think that's all he cares about. The financial collapse, I don't think he cares about.
But he's only a few months into his term, and already it's collapsing. I mean, he cares whether it survives or not. I can tell you that. I mean, everybody's looking to him to be the new Messiah.
Yeah.
And here he's almost out of business.
Maybe the new Muhammad would be the more appropriate. Well, what I wonder though is, okay, so let's say by the end of the year, New York City is completely bankrupt. They have no money. So what happens? He's still mayor.
That is a great topic for a talk show.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what happens.
Well, I'm sure someone in our audience has some theories on it.
I mean, what happened when Dinkins was there, who probably looks competent compared to this guy, but when Mayor Dinkins was mayor, he was incompetent. I guess he's the second most incompetent mayor now with Mamdani, and he had his 4 years, and then he just didn't get reelected, right? I mean, so I guess they, I don't feel sorry for New York. They brought this on themselves. They deserve it.
Yeah. Those of us that have ties to New York, and that New York has been a part of our life on the road up to this point, we have emotional connection to New York.
Wow.
People like Richie. I mean, and we were sitting around here waiting for people to wake up, and evidently that's the big story, that people have woken up, and he's lost control.
But he's still the mayor for 3.5 more years plus.
Well, but the question is, he's only into a tenth of his term.
Yeah.
And they're talking of not surviving his term. So I don't know what's happening, but I think from what I saw on television yesterday, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, well, I saw these people that went over to the hospital to try to rescue an illegal from deportation over the weekend. So I don't know how.
Yeah, that was a mess.
I don't know how much New Yorkers have woken up. See, the media is based out of New York. So the main Fox people, except Hannity, because Hannity does his show from down here now, right? He does his show from Palm Beach now. But the rest of them, they live in New York, so they're experiencing it. So it's like in the front of their mind. But let me answer all these lines that are coming in. But I don't think that the regular people in New York care. I think they're just stupid. I think they're so woke and stupid that
I think they're not so stupid because they're moving out in droves.
Yeah.
Droves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in a much shorter time. So, I mean, everybody anticipated you'd have problems, in the beginning, but nobody expected this fast.
Yeah. Well, it
And
happens.
he's just totally lost control. And the riots in the streets, and the riots now with the police department, and it's.
Hey, they voted for this guy. They knew what they were getting into. I say let him suffer. I have no sympathy for New York. None. After 9/11, to elect this guy, they deserve all the suffering that they get.
Even the Jews?
Well, if I were a Jew, I'd leave New York. Okay? Jews should evacuate New York. Okay?
Well, I think that's what's happening.
Well, come to Florida. All right? Come to South Florida.
People have read your mind in advance.
Yeah, I mean, come on. If you get an Islamic mayor in New York City and you're a Jew, I think it's time to flee. Right?
I fled. I discovered that long ago.
Yeah. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. But I want to ask you, this very well could be, this is a very important question. Do you or someone you know suffer from neuropathy? And, of course, we're talking about Lighthouse Medical. And, so many people that are suffering from neuropathy are suffering so much, they may not be able to call to even make the appointment. And a lot of times, a loved one, a spouse, a son, a daughter, a grandchild will call, and you can do that and schedule the no-charge consultation with Lighthouse Medical. I just want to say a couple things about Lighthouse Medical. They have a treatment for neuropathy, they have a treatment for neuropathy that works, and they have a treatment for neuropathy that lasts. Steve, you had neuropathy in the worst way. You saw relief after your very first treatment. Over 3.5 years later, your symptoms have not returned. And it's absolutely amazing. And I've talked to many listeners on this program, including, there was one guy on our last cruise. He says, if it wasn't for Lighthouse Medical, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in bed. And he went with us on our shore excursions and was going all over the place, snorkeling and everything else. He said, I would have been in bed if it wasn't for Lighthouse Medical. Give them a call. They can help rid you of your neuropathy no matter where you're located in the world, just through phone appointments or telemedicine. But even if you're local and you can't make it into the office, they understand with neuropathy, you may be confined to your home. So give them a call, and you could do telehealth or a video call from your home, even here in South Florida. If you mentioned you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show, it's a no-charge consultation. All right? Stop living with neuropathy. Call. And remember, if you have a relative suffering from neuropathy, call and make the no-charge consultation appointment for them, okay? 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Call us on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. Steve Kane's here. We'll take our first break of the final hour of today's program and be right back. All right, Steve, I want to put you on hold, okay?
Okay.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about bye-bye pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Tom Laporta, Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house, and there's never a downtime. They're old school, which means you call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse, weather, traffic, whatever? Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Thanks, Dr. Appleton. Now do what Dr. Appleton did. Pick up your phone and call Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing on your cell phone. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
You know that first cup of coffee in the morning? It kind of sets the tone for everything that comes after, doesn't it? So why settle for coffee that's been sitting on a shelf for weeks, maybe even months? That's where James and June Coffee comes in. They're a family-founded brand named after their children, Beckham James and Rosie June. And everything they do is built around one simple idea: better mornings at home. James and June Coffee is fresh roasted, small batch coffee, not mass produced. It's not overcomplicated either. Just really good coffee that's smooth, easy to drink, and made for your everyday routine. There's no fancy jargon, no coffee snob vibe, just a simple upgrade to something you already do every day. Because when your coffee's better, your morning just feels better too. If you're someone who enjoys that quiet moment at home, that first sip before the day gets going, James and June Coffee is for you. Order yours right now online at jamesandjunecoffee.com and try it for yourself. That's jamesandjunecoffee.com. Share the link on all your socials so your friends can order their coffee too. jamesandjunecoffee.com. Made for real mornings.
All right, Steve, you there?
Yes.
All right, 30 seconds. We'll be back. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve's here. You want to go to the phone, Steve?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, Jeff from Vero. Quick question. I hope it's not off topic, but what's your take on why Ilhan Omar is untouchable?
I wouldn't say that she is.
I think she's about to prove not to be.
I hope you're right.
Let me tell you what I mean. Yesterday, there was this shock bust of the top Democrats' business in Virginia, okay? Black Democrat. And, black Democrat women feel totally invincible. Nobody's going to go after me. I'm so many different minorities. And I saw her get out of the car. She was in shock as they're arresting all of her employees at gunpoint, the FBI. And this is what I'll tell you how this relates to Ilhan Omar. She's the top Democrat in the Virginia state government. The Virginia state government is basically the bureaucracy of the United States federal government because they all live in Northern Virginia. So she's in bed with the bureaucracy of Virginia. And
who knows who will?
Yeah, well, if you look at her, nobody's in bed with her these days. I mean, my goodness, great grandma here.
Oh, you're kidding? She's beautiful.
No. We're not talking about Ilhan Omar. I'm talking about the Virginia Democrat. Yeah. So this is what I think about the.
That's a hard vision.
Oh my goodness, I'm thinking that this arrest yesterday, which came out of the blue, is a little bit of foreshadowing, like they do in the movies, preparing people. So by the time they get to these higher I never heard of this lady before yesterday, right? But she's a big-time Democrat.
Neither had I.
Okay, she's a big-time Democrat, not just in Virginia, but because she's the top Democrat in state government next to the governor. In Virginia, she's in bed with the Democrat bureaucracy in D.C. And you get this, to arrest a black female Democrat is almost unheard of. We just expelled a black female Democrat from Congress here in Florida who was stealing COVID relief funds. So what they're doing the build-up to the high-profile Ilhan Omar, where by the time they get to her,
I was just wondering because President Trump sent J.D. Vance after her as well, and I know that Sam Bondi couldn't touch her, but then I read something where that he's not getting to her either.
No, not at all.
What is your take on it?
Well, I appreciate the call. I'll explain it just with Steve because here's by the way, from Vero, one of our new radio stations. Welcome, and make sure you tell all your friends about us up there in Vero. I love Vero. Have you been to Vero lately, Steve?
No.
Oh man, it's beautiful. It's like it used to be in South Florida in the 80s, 70s. It's really nice up there. But anyway, the point I was trying to make is Ilhan Omar is a very high-profile arrest. They're going after these lower people. The woman, the black female Democrat in Miami, this Virginia Democrat yesterday. So by the time they get to Ilhan Omar, it won't be a big deal. And the president said, I can't remember if it was yesterday. I think it was the day before yesterday. JD is in charge of this investigation, both in Minneapolis and California, and he's uncovering a lot that's about to be revealed. So no, I don't think Ilhan Omar is untouchable. I think she's either going to be arrested or we'll wake up one day and find out that she's fled the country. That's what I expect. And the last few times I've seen Ilhan Omar, she looks terrified. She doesn't have that attitude that she had before, like she is untouchable. She's a totally different looking person than she was a month ago. If you've seen her lately, she's not taking care of herself like she used to. And you could see in her face, she's not sleeping. And that means she's worried because she knows everything she's done and been involved in. We only know some surface stuff, right? So she's terrified. She's terrified. They thought the Somali pirates of Minneapolis thought they had a lifeline forever and ever to steal money from the federal government. They never thought there would be any accountability, and so they really didn't cover their tracks much. So no, I don't think she's untouchable, Ilhan Omar. I think there will most definitely be justice. And when I say it used to be like a prohibition on going after black female Democrats. Look at Jasmine Crockett. They redistrict her district out of existence. So she has no congressional district anymore. So they're just preparing. Don't worry. When you go after someone as high profile as Ilhan Omar, you've got to have everything, all the T's crossed. In this Democrat bust yesterday, the FBI SWAT team came in with rifles, just like they did at Mar-a-Lago, except there was real crime and criminals here.
What did they say about turnabout?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no, and I have no worry. Ilhan Omar will definitely face American justice. Her immunity is over. We just got to be a little patient because I'm seeing big moves from as soon as Pam Bondi left. Here we are, a little more than a month since Pam Bondi left, and the Justice Department is on the move. All right, let's take some more calls before the bottom. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, IB in Broward.
Hey, IB.
Uncle Steve, good morning.
IB, what's up?
Nice to have you back. Good to see that you're feeling well. You prompted me to call in, Steve, mostly just to talk to you one-on-one. Look, what's happening is this. Look, we're rounding up all the scoundrels, right? Brian, remember, turning off the spigot, I mentioned how it shuts down the flow of the money in all directions. So, but the bigger picture is all of these guys are going down. They're losing their positions. They're losing their seats. Trump is trying to put MAGA people in those positions so then we can control the Senate, the House, and the executive. So no matter what they do, and Jayapal with that stupid-looking dress, Jayapal should be handcuffed immediately, even if it's a mental condition. You cannot have someone who's out of Congress talking like that freely. That is not freedom.
And I've got some advice to Congresswoman Jayapal, other than don't commit treason and hire a good lawyer. Stop wearing open-toed shoes. They're not your friend. Okay, I must tell you.
No self-awareness of where they are.
By the way, did you see this video on May the 4th that Barack Obama made with Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker from Star Wars? Did you see this video?
No.
Well, May 4th is for Star Wars fans. We call it May the 4th Be With You Day. It's Star Wars Day. And they did this stupid video that's unimportant, and Mark Hamill, when I was a little kid, Mark Hamill was like my hero, and now he's like Charles Nelson Riley. He's a real weirdo, and he's a liberal jerk. Well, he did something yesterday, and Mark Hamill from Star Wars could very well find himself arrested. He posted a photograph, an image of President Trump dead in his grave on Blue Sky yesterday, the liberal social media platform. And we just had a third assassination attempt against the President of the United States. Mark Hamill does a video with Obama, and the next day he posts a photograph of a deceased Donald Trump lying on his grave. I mean, this guy, he needs to be arrested too. Mark Hamill, Jay Apau, and all the rest. Ilhan Omar, we need to have some major arrest.
Yes, that is short term. But here's the thing: as each of these flies are getting swatted by Trump, that gives us positions in the House and in the Senate. Okay, because they're doing so much corrupt things blatantly in our face, like the lady with the 10 cannabis locations that got raided. That didn't come down overnight. They took a while to gather that case, but it wasn't pursued because now we're in power. Those judges, we have to stop the judges. The judges are the only thing that's holding us back right now, okay? So Trump has to pick his battles, and we still have 2.5 years to go. So all we're doing is swatting flies at this point, but we're gaining
I don't know.
those.
Comey got arrested last week. Comey got arrested. Hey, IB, I gotta run for the break. We have listeners in this audience that they just have these amazing stories. One of our regular callers, Joan from Tampa Bay, she called me a week or so ago. She's in a new commercial that's recorded. You're hearing on the radio station. She called Jupiter Joe Thomas. She got in annuities, and you hear the recorded commercial with Joan from Tampa Bay. She said, Steve, that when Joe Thomas told her how much she was going to get each month for the rest of her life from her annuity, that she about fell out of her chair. We had another listener who worked at Publix. She was one of those nice ladies that works in the deli at Publix. And she was over retirement age, but she had been working because she, needed the money. She met with Jupiter Joe Thomas, and she's actually making more money not working than she was working at the Publix deli. And now she doesn't have to work anymore, on her feet all day at the deli. I mean, it's really, guys, call Jupiter Joe Thomas. In your senior years, you don't want to worry about money. You want to live a good, comfortable life. Joe Thomas, no matter where you're located, call and schedule your no-charge consultation, 561-743-0999, 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, it's on his website, jupiterjoe.com. Give him a call. All right, callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian. We'll be right back. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold, okay? Hold on.
All right.
All right, Steve, we have 90 seconds.
Yeah.
90 seconds.
Okay.
I've about lost my voice. I'm All right, we're back. Steve Kane's here. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Dusty in Arkansas. How are you?
Hey, Dusty.
You there, Brian?
We're here.
Oh, wow. Hey, I wanted to talk about loyalty because we all know how important loyalty is to President Trump. So I'm wondering, do you guys remember when Nixon was forced out of office? Do you remember who it was that forced him out?
I think it was a committee of U.S. senators that took a walk up Pennsylvania Avenue and informed him that the votes weren't there in the Senate to preserve them.
Were they from his party or the other party?
A mix.
I'm sorry?
A mix. I think
it was predominantly Republicans. It was predominantly his own party. So my question is, were those senators, were they being disloyal to President Nixon?
No, they were being loyal to their party. I mean, they weren't being disloyal.
Yeah, but they forced the president out. He was a Republican.
They didn't force him out. They explained to him the votes weren't there for him to stay.
Yeah, because they were going to vote him to be impeached.
You know, I'm confused. I'm confused, Steve.
Republican.
I'm confused, Steve. Why is this guy calling in about 1974? I mean,
because he's desperate.
Oh, okay.
And he's got no current. He's got no current examples to point to. So he's got to go back to Richard Nixon.
Oh, okay.
But to tell you the truth, it's a refreshing relief from having to listen to Trump did everything. But that was your point, right, sir?
The point is that back then the Republicans did the right thing, and they knew that Nixon.
Well, right now
you
could say the Democrats are doing the right thing. At least Fetterman's doing the right thing, isn't he?
No, you guys, this whole loyalty thing is ridiculous.
Fetterman doing the right thing or not?
I know.
I say Fetterman's doing the right thing. You agree with me or disagree that Fetterman has taken the right position in this? That he's been a loyal American.
I'll agree, just so you stop with Fetterman. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, I know you guys hate her now.
What is it you don't like about Fetterman? Hold on. What is it you should love Fetterman? Fetterman's going to save your party.
You're right. I love Fetterman. Can I now make my point or ask a question?
No. Goodbye.
You guys now.
There you go. All right. Oh, my goodness.
See how simple it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I disagree. I'm not going to get sidetracked on Nixon too much, but
no, I wouldn't go off on that.
But you know, this is so bizarre. I think that might be the first Democrat we've heard. You know, the Democrat Party is fading away into non-existence. And
that's very true.
Yeah, and
it's happening very quickly, right in front of our eyes. Yeah. They're evaporating as we speak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And it's a pleasure to watch. And, you know, things are happening that we never thought would happen. I'm going to tell you, though, on election, if this redistricting in Florida successfully results in Debbie Wasserman Schultz losing, oh, Steve, I mean, we got to have a party at Wings Plus just for that. A bye-bye Debbie Wasserperson Schultz party. You know?
That sounds good. Bye-bye.
Oh, my goodness.
Bye-bye, Debbie.
Bye-bye, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I don't know. We got that's too many letters. The signs would have to be too big to, you know, it'd be hard to read. She's got so much.
Deb.
Yeah. No, but, you know, the redistricting, it's so amazing. This is what really is telling to me. I mentioned this a little bit before you got here. Some major things have happened, and there have been no protest. Right? The Supreme Court ruling saying that these black districts are illegal. You can't have racially segregated congressional districts. So they've been redrawn and they're gone. Not one protest in the streets of America. You got a pundit on CNN, a pundit or two on MSNBC, MS Now, who will say, oh, it's bad. The hags on The View, they'll say, oh, they don't want the blacks to vote. But there's been no national outrage from the citizens. Only liberal hacks on television. The redistricting as a whole, no protest in the streets. and which shows a couple things. One, the country's on our side, and two, it shows you how much USAID and the Southern Poverty Law Center were putting up fake protests. And these protests of things over the years were not organic. They were put up by the Democrats. And between the Trump administration taking down USAID last year and a few weeks ago taking down the Southern Poverty Law Center, you don't see any protest anymore. And for the first time, we're getting to see how much of this country really is conservative, which is the majority of it. Because these things that are happening, ending the black districts, is a big deal. I mean, who would have even thought that would be possible, right? And it happened, and it's barely even a news story.
Well, I think that for me personally, the news story will start when some people start going to jail. So far, it's still, to the best of my knowledge, no one's in jail over this.
Well, Comey getting arrested last week's a pretty big deal. He's the ringleader.
Well, there's a big difference between arrest and people who've been charged before.
But he will always have been arrested for a felony. And that story I was talking about in the last hour about Congresswoman Jayapal, who with her treason and Logan Act violations that she confessed to on television yesterday, I don't think that's going to go unpunished. There's no way. Now, President Trump may not have known about it yesterday. He's been busy, with Iran and everything. But I promise you he knows about it now. And he's not going to be happy about it, And when she went down to Cuba and is coordinated with foreign governments to smuggle oil into Cuba against the U.S. embargo that the president has ordered. That is a violation of the Logan Act and treason. And I would be surprised if it doesn't face some type of legal pressure. And the story's starting to go a little viral now. It happened yesterday, but it didn't get a lot of press yesterday. But it's starting to get more press today. And Mike Johnson's going to have to do something. I mean, I think she should be expelled from the House of Representatives for that. You can't go out and violate the Logan Act and commit treason and meet with foreign governments on foreign soil and try to find a way to go around the U.S. oil embargo on any country. That's a major crime. All right, let me look at the clock. We got time. You want to take another call or two?
Yes.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Stephen Bryan. This is JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, JJ. What's up?
Hey, guys. Well, this Jayapal, to me, by her actions, to me, she took up arms against the United States. And her video, to me, I saw that, and I was like, it just reminded me the video of Biden when he says, if you don't fire this prosecutor,
the Ukrainian video,
you're not getting the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting. I mean, it's like it's a confession. Now, I mean, I think, and quite honestly, I think they're probably. I mean, when it comes to probable cause arrests with the feds, that just very rarely happens. But I'm sure they're writing this up, and if they're not, there's a reason for it. But I believe that there's probably be sealed indictments, and they're just going to kind of do a moth to the flame, fly paper strategy. See who else.
The Trump policy with Cuba is so important to the president and Marco Rubio. I find it hard to believe that she's going to get away with this. I find it impossible.
I'm with you. I believe the same thing. I believe they're going to, the thing is with the feds, I mean, it took them, about a year to get Comey on the 8647. And they usually, I mean, they don't bring things, they don't indict you, arrest you, and bring you to court until they've got it tied up in a nice, neat bow. But in this particular case, I'm sure this just happened. I'm sure they must have known about this. I'm thinking that they're going to
knowing and going on television bragging like the guy that owned Studio 54. When you start bragging on television about your felonies, then you put them in a corner where things get sped up a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're going to. As much as listen, Trump has time. I think they're just going to wait to see how many other people are involved. I mean, right now, I'm sure they're watching everybody. I mean, how many, Brian? These people.
My guess is they're in her phone. My guess is that they're either in her phone or will be by the end of today to find out who she was communicating with.
Her phone and and the other person's phone and the other person. It's like that same thing they did.
She said,
with
"I
the
went to
procedure in Trump.
Cuba. I went to Cuba." She met with the Cuban government, the ambassador to Mexico, and other Latin American countries to find a way to smuggle more oil into Cuba. But so come on.
Joe Biden. She's got this. The Democrats, they're committing crimes. They have this invulnerability fallacy going on, and I think when the hammer hits, there's going to be an epiphany of.
That's right.
It's just like the L.A. mayoral debate last night. It's sort of the oh crap, I've been caught.
Let me tell you,
it's gotten too big to cover at this point.
Yeah, we got to run for the break. But that L.A. mayor's debate last night was next to the Trump debates in the first campaign. Okay, that was the best political debate I've ever seen. Spencer and 87% of those who watched it, Los Angelinos, they call them, 87% in L.A. said he won. He got
big eye opener.
Oh, all right. We got to run. Appreciate the call. Now, if you have a security camera that you're paying too much money for, or maybe you haven't gotten a security camera because, well, you don't know how to install it, or maybe you have some security that's just not giving you the protection that you need. Well, listen to this. There's a better and smarter way to protect your home, yourself, and your family with Sloman's facial recognition cameras. Their advanced technology recognizes familiar faces and alerts you when specific people arrive. I cannot believe how high-tech things are. We are living in the future. It even connects with your alarm and smart devices. So you pull up to your home, your lights turn on, your door's unlocked, you don't need keys, no hassle, boom, just total convenience. And right now, and this is for a limited time, you can get it all for just $24.95 a month. You'll receive an all-in-one facial recognition door lock and doorbell camera, an outdoor camera, plus the Sloman Shield home security system that includes an LED keypad, 3 door or window contacts, a motion detector, and battery backup, all professionally installed. Give them a call, 833-283-5050, 833-283-5050. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. We'll have the gold report after. Hold on.
Hi, Tom Laporta here. We are Laporta Roofing, a family business since 1983. You are our customer. In other words, our boss. We are here for and because of you, not the other way around. The 2026 rainy season is upon us. Because we haven't had a hurricane in 2 years, all the storm chaser roofing companies have gone out of business, leaving only the strongest and the best contractors. At Laporta Roofing, we will never sell you a roof you don't need. We don't have salesmen or commissions, so we will never pressure you to sign a contract. Also, deposits are not required. At Laporta Roofing, you will always come first. We must earn your trust, and we will. So call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, or on the web at laportaroofing.com.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
All right, sit by about 30 seconds. All right, we're back, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals look today?
The metals look amazing right now. The whole complex is up dramatically yesterday and today. Yesterday we saw gold trade in a range of $45.45 on the low, all the way up to $4,723, and closed out the day up $133.40 at $4,690 the ounce. Silver, the big winner this week. I mean, up over 10% so far this week alone. Silver closed yesterday up $4.53 at $77.24. Platinum gained $106, up to $2,061, and palladium was up $46 at $1,519 the ounce. Overnight, we saw gold trading in a range of $46.84 all the way up to $4,754, and right now gold is up $60 at $47.50. That's almost a $200 gain so far in just 2 days.
Wow!
But silver, the big gainer, silver again up another $4.22 this morning. That's $8.75 in 2 days on silver, gaining over 10% at $81.45 the ounce for silver.
Gee whiz.
Legislation coming out of Mexico, the largest producer of silver in the world, has evidently making some changes in their export laws, which is going to affect the price of silver going forward. Silver, as I said, $81.45 the ounce this morning. Platinum up $31 at $2,092, and palladium up $3 at $1,522. So the metals are the place to be.
Remember when silver was 11, Steve?
I sure do.
Not that long ago. Wow, that's amazing. You know, at these prices with silver, what are some of the best silver products to pick up right now?
Just about anything is a good value right now, but of course the 90% silver coin is still your best way to buy silver below the market. We are selling bags of 90% silver coins at $5 under the spot price of silver. So if you're looking for an opportunity to get in a little bit cheaper than the posted price, that's the way to do it, and then wait for those premiums to come back on those bags in the future.
And remember, guys, 90% silver are U.S. minted coins, quarters, half dollars, and things like this that are from the olden days that are made of 90% silver. And it is silver, and you're getting it for less than the price of silver at William Youngerman's right now. Okay, give him a call. That's amazing. 1-800. I know. I love 90% silver because my grandpa used to have it in his pocket when I was a kid. Now 800-327-5010. 800-327-5010. Give him a call. You can stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find both his address and phone number online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day. Thank you.
All right, take care. Steve, I've been trying to get you in the 90% silver for the longest time because it's really cool. I like the half dollars and the quarters myself, but, people have their favorites. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Guys, I'd like to get an opinion. Is this the worst collection of mayors that this country has ever produced? Specifically, I'm thinking of New York, L.A., and Chicago. Where are they getting these clowns from? And why are people voting these people into office?
Well, because they don't have penises, they're not white, they're not Christian. Yeah. For the worst reasons. Nowhere on that list of reasons is qualifications. Here's the thing, though.
No.
Some of you may think I spend too much time on California, okay? But California, right now, after the governor's debate the other night, the first and second place in the governor's primary are both Republicans. And remember, whoever comes in first and second in the California primary face off together. So I don't like that sheriff, but he's a Republican. So that means no matter what, we're going to get a Republican governor. Spencer Pratt, that poll that came out on NBC after that debate last night, one of the things they're not factoring in California with the polls and everything, How will the fear of ICE affect Democrat turnout in Southern California? There's a lot of people who are not. Yeah.
That is interesting.
Well, no one's factored that in, and I think Democrat turnout is going to be very low in Southern California out of the fear of ICE. And whether or not I can't make a prediction on who's going to win the LA mayor's race or California because the polls aren't factoring in these things. However, even if we lose both, the state of California is moving red. And in another election cycle or two, California is going to become a toss-up state like Pennsylvania in another election cycle or two, the way things are going.
Not only that, but people are moving in general. They're getting the hell out of this. What's the phrase they use? They're voting with their feet. Across the country.
But how about all our fellow citizens in these cities who can't move out? Who they have their job there, they don't have the financial resources to leave, and they're trapped in this, really, in a desperate situation in all these big cities that have gone there. It's a terrible shame. The other thing is these treason charges are starting to build and build and build, and
against who?
Maybe a minority in this. Well, against everybody.
Jayapal?
Just about everybody, because we haven't heard. We're only getting a tip now. We're getting a taste of how big this is. I think. Well, I tell you what. I think when Maduro's information comes out, we're going to get quite a bit of surprises about people in the Senate and the House who have been going along with this stuff.
I'm telling you, Jayapal very well could find herself arrested. Listen, Goldbar Menendez was not just a senior United States senator. He was a top Democrat senator, and he got arrested and put on trial, and he's in prison.
Yes, he was.
Okay? And that's without Trump.
Right. So, I was kind of surprised it took Menendez down when they did it, but I'm going to make a statement again, and I said it before. I do think we will see military tribunals. This is my opinion, but I think we're going to see it because we have no idea how massive this is.
There will be no military tribunals, and you don't want them. The Democrats, what happens if the Democrats get back in power? You and I will be on tribunal because of my Trump 2028 hat. They'll put me on trial.
Well, I think we are going to see something very good. So we're already seeing in this year 2026. We're going to see a massive things taking place between now and the 4th of July and the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. I do think we'll see it.
All right. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call, Brian. Good points there. Yep. All right. You take care. If you're on hold, hang in there. I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Anyone can do it. And anyone can lose weight with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You know how I know that? Not only because I've done it and I've kept the weight off. This is the only diet plan I've been on. And I know a lot of you out there have been on other diet plans and maybe you lost some weight, then you gained it back and you do all those yo-yo things and it's never worked out for you. I've been on one. I have a 100% success rate with my diet plan, and that is Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And I did all of it without drugs, without any pills. There's another celebrity, I forgot her name, female celebrity, movie star, and you can't even look at her. She was beautiful, and then she went on one of those pills or shots, and she's, oh my goodness, you can't even look at her anymore. You want to look good like I do, natural, like yourself, lose the weight naturally. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret and schedule your no-charge consultation, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300, and online, coastalweightlossecret.com. I want to remind everyone, tomorrow is Friday. That means it's on Friday's show, we call it Open Phones, Open Phone Friday, but we don't like to call it Open Phone Friday because that was Rush's thing, and I don't want to take from Rush, so we call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, which is tomorrow, I can't believe it's Friday already, you can call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show, okay? The show prep is up to you and the listening audience on Friday's show, and that's tomorrow. So start your show prep this morning, and a lot's going on. But, Steve, I'll tell you, what's happened is with the Democrats, I think, Steve, the Democrat, like we're talking about Jayapal and Ilhan Omar and Karen they're in such a panic that their party is fading away that they're saying and doing things publicly that either they didn't do before or maybe the media didn't cover?
Well, I think it's finally gotten through to them that they're in trouble.
Oh, yes.
And they're slow learners. There's no getting around that.
Yeah. You know, and I was really I was watching Fox News early this morning before the show, and they were talking about the L.A. mayor's debate. It was a three-way debate. Spencer Pratt, Rahman, and
I saw a lot of that.
And their take was, is L.A. on the verge of electing their own Zohan Mamdani? And they're talking about Rahman, you know. She's in all the polls out there, she's in third place with only 9% support. There's an article in Newsweek this morning with her poll. And I don't know if that's just they're trying to do headline bait and say Mamdani and connect it to try to get people to listen. There's going to be a runoff in LA, and it's going to be Spencer Pratt versus Karen Bass is the way it's looking. Karen Bass has about 30-some%. It's a primary, and you got to get over 50% to avoid the runoff. So it looks like there's going to be a runoff, and it's going to be Spencer Pratt versus one of them. And if you miss that debate in L.A., go and try to find it online and watch it. You're going to see clips on the news today. In the first hour, I went through some of the highlights. President Trump has, I call it magnetized. He's magnetized this country. And this country, we are seeing conservatives rise up and become very popular in Democrat Party-based territory, like Spencer Pratt and Steve Hilton in California. All right, well, listen, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane, of course, has been here as well. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. We'll see you tomorrow morning on Open MAGA Mike Friday, and do some good show prep. That could be the best show of the week if you guys do your work. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Take care. All right, Steve, I'll call you later.
Okay.
All right, take care. Now, listen, guys, make sure that before you go, you like the video, if you don't mind. Please like the video before you go. Liking the video really helps grow the channel. It gets my channel and my videos recommended to people that have not yet found me. So please don't go without liking the video. That helps so much. My name's Brian. I will be back this afternoon with a podcast, so I'll see you then. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Take care.